And chat, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Today we are going to be continuing Briardien to its conclusion. And then, depending on how much time we have left, we will not be doing Hildebrand, probably, because that's going to take a few hours. We will probably do some class quests. We'll see. I have a bunch still. Let me see. Yeah, I've got a shit ton. I've got a shit ton still to do. I don't know how long the Briardien questline is going to take, but let me bring Minda and Danny on. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
Well enough.
Very good. Had some excellent evening yesterday.
You are really distant sounding.
I am very distant, as the cats say on my chest.
That makes sense.
Absolutely worthwhile. So what happened in D&D?
Well, I got to pay off a plan that I've had in the back of my head for 2.5 years.
Nice.
Nice.
Which was very fun.
Yes, 10K.
I can. So, for the last few years, my friends and I have had a tradition where every Halloween we have a little Halloween one-shot. Well, it started out as a one-shot where we just had like a party of spooky characters.
Ooh.
And then they wanted to use those characters again for the next Halloween, and now it's an annual tradition.
Oh.
And
Nice.
when everybody was creating their characters, we were all like big fans of Halloween, so we were playing until like months in advance. So people were made all of their characters like that summer, so 2.5 years ago. And when they made their characters, we had several different characters. We have like a kobold who's a beast barbarian. We got a changeling who's a village cleric, but they're not, not publicly changelings. They're like hiding themselves or like and one of them was just a talking skeleton, who's a sorcerer, and when the giant skeleton when I was asking about their backstory, this was a one-shot.
69! Sorry.
Nice. This was a one-shot, mind you, so backstory wasn't terribly important, but like, okay, where did the giant walking skeleton come from? Which is like a 7-foot tall walking skeleton. And her response was, I don't know, the necromancer woke her up and she just left. And I'm like, okay.
Just peaced out, bye.
Yeah, just peaced out, bye. I was like, okay, so what happened to the necromancer? And she was like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, excellent. As the DM, I love that answer. And like at the time, like I already had a plan for that year's one shot. Like I had my boss battle like planned out, ready to go. And then the year after that, I figured, okay, well, this is like the second time. This is only the second time we've had these characters together. It doesn't feel right to have it based entirely around one specific character's backstory. But like year three, if we have a third session with these characters, that's when the necromancer's coming back. And sure enough, this year, the necromancer came back.
Hell yeah.
They had a whole Frankenstein's monster thing going on with their, where they like talked to the heroes and coming to their mansion, and there was a big underground lab with electricity everywhere, and it was brand new time.
That's awesome. That must feel good getting to pay that off after 2.5 years.
Yes.
Oh man, that's so cool. Alright, well, we have approached Briardien. Shall I initiate contact with the nerd?
Go ahead.
If it isn't my trusted associate back from the field, as you will doubtless have seen for yourself, change is sweeping through Ishgard, and the veil which once threatened to smother the hearts and minds of our people is slowly but surely being lifted. 'Tis as if our fair city has been born anew, and it is in large part thanks to you. Which is not to say our problems have come to an end. No, the silent struggle between the lowborn and highborn goes on, growing more fractious by the day. Fractious is a good word. I have come to believe that someone, somewhere, is fanning the flames of hatred to further their own ends, and I am convinced that his name begins with H. Now, more than ever, that Ulah's sudden disappearance, alongside that of Volume 11 of the Articles of Hellenic Polity, is no mere coincidence. Both she and it, after all, were passionate advocates of equality among men.
Hildebrand is many things, but he's not classist.
Yup. Don't tell that to Briardien, though. As to who is responsible and what their true intentions might be, I cannot say. Ascertaining these things will no doubt require that we first find the missing girl, and, as of this moment, our best hope of learning her whereabouts may rest on discovering the fate of the book.
I don't think Hildebrand even knows what money is. Like, if only we had the funds to do this. Hildebrand, you are you are literally the heir to the richest man on the planet.
No. Hildebrand does not know what money is, but Nashu does. I think that's the funniest arrangement of that situation there could be. As such, I shall continue searching for any clue which might lead us to the missing tome. In the meantime, I ask that you trouble the students for any information they might have on Ulah. Failing that, find out if they have witnessed any unusual occurrences around the Scholasticate. Anything at all. Well then, let us be about it. Actually, I don't know. Is it funnier for Nashu to know what money is, or for her to not know what money is? She is kind of his sort of hyper-competent sidekick.
The only thing she's competent with is making explosives.
It's all relative, Danny.
Like, to be fair, it's just like, Hildebrand probably doesn't know what money is just because anytime he has needed something, it has just been provided.
Oh, true. There's a good point. Ah, rich people. Blazy has been so distracted lately. I'm lucky if I can get a simple good morning from her. Ever since Ulah left, she's been rushing about the city like a madwoman, looking for any information she can find on the girl, that she might have an excuse to talk to Theomaset.
Nashu probably learnt about money when trying to fund her explosives hobby.
Well, I cannot claim to have seen anything unusual exactly. I will say that things have not been the same here since Ulah left. Somber doesn't do it justice. The only really unexpected change I've seen of late is Lee's attitude towards Cramovois. He really seems to have warmed to him. Why, he even went as far as to initiate a conversation the other day. He spoke to me, 'tis true, but 'twas not out of fondness. He merely hates me very slightly less than he values Ulah's safe return. One of the seniors told me she'd been diagnosed with something called lung rot, and that she's too weak to attend any of her classes. Thinking back, I did hear her coughing from time to time, but I had no idea it was anything so serious. That sounds like a very serious disease if they're not making it up. Welcome back, Mistress Weaver. Though the news of Ulah's abrupt departure yet weighs heavily upon all of our minds, I am certain your presence within our hallowed halls will help put a good many hearts at ease. Oh yeah, that would be a word for tuberculosis, wouldn't it? The lessons of Volume 11 seemed to resonate deeply with Ulah. She would oft stay up into the small hours reading and rereading them. Mayhap they spurred her to steal away in the night and take up with the revolutionaries. Though some were shocked by the news of Ulah's departure, our Combinine has worked tirelessly to reassure the student body that it is all for the best. Yeah, he would. Alright, asshole. What do you have to say? How many times must I say this? Ula was not coerced into leaving, nor was she abducted, nor did she die from a fictitious disease. She quit the Scholasticate of her own free will, for reasons known only to her and the Fury. Really, is it so difficult to understand? It is possible she just quit, but I don't believe it.
It's possible that would just be silly storytelling. They just unfortunately involve a story.
Can you imagine if like we got to the final chapter of this this quest, and the reveal was just, yeah, I quit.
Couldn't stand Teomaset. Too annoying. I left. Welcome back, Mistress Weaver. What a pleasant surprise it is to see you 30 seconds after I last saw you. How might I be of service to you this day? Any leads on the 11th book? Teomaset. In the wake of Ula's withdrawal, he and Lee have devoted their every waking moment to the task of uncovering her whereabouts. They are quite adamant that the girl must be found and persuaded to resume her studies here. As a matter of fact, they approached me earlier today to beg leave to travel to Gorgain Mills, claiming that a trip there would yield the information they needed to accomplish their aim. No sooner had I granted their request than they rushed off. Such compassion and eagerness to serve others is a rarity even among the clergy. I cannot tell you how proud I am of what fine young men they have become. Alright, Gorgagne Hills. Gorgagne? Gorgagne? Gorgagny.
I've actually always said Gorgagny, but I'm not going to pretend I know how it's said.
Gaga.
Me? Gaga. Okay, here's the thing. There are myriad writing sins in Crisis Core, and I will never go to bat for it in general, but that is not one of them. It is a perfectly sensible response to the question he was asked.
I mean, it's just a very silly sentiment. One of those things, like, as a DM, we've all been there, right? Like, you come up with a name for a thing, and then you say it out loud for the first time at the table, and immediately spot the problem. That's all that is. Like, there are hour-long compilations of this happening in that universe, right?
Yeah, I guess Gongaga in 1997 was not intended to be said out loud.
Yeah, that's the other problem.
This is dramatic as fuck music. Minda is muffled because he's away from the mic because he's got a cat on his chest.
Cat just left, so my dad can sit up. How do you doing, everybody?
I mean, of course it's dramatic music. It's a boss fight.
Yeah, it is possible.
You're in a freaking graveyard. All right. Do my eyes deceive me? Surely that can't be you, Lore. What brings you to Gorgain Mills? You guys. Lore, is it really you? That we should be reunited thus amid the snowy peaks of Kurthus is... Why, it is nothing short of a miracle. I sense the hand of the divine at work. It's the hand of your teacher who sent me after you. Helene has answered our prayers. Theo, Lore has no idea what you're talking about. By all means explain, but do it slowly and from the beginning. My apologies. Excitement got the better of me. Lore, this is the resting place of Father Troisseau, the man who found room in his heart for 2 waifs from the street, granting them the opportunity to rise above their station in life. Oh, do you perchance recall the book that was stolen from Theo and burned by that lost soul we once thought of as a brother? It was one of the last mementos we had of the man. Now all that's left to remind us of him is this place. Indeed. And while we often come here to seek solace and guidance in his blessed presence, today our purpose is more practical. With our search for Ulot and Impasse, we had hoped he might grant us inspiration. And that is why I believe our meeting with you here in this, our hour of need, is a sign from above, mayhap the work of Father Troisseau himself. Speaking of inspiration, apparently one of the names for an inspiration roll in Baldur's Gate 3 is a Smile Better Suits. I don't know the context for it. I don't want to know the context for it until I get there, but that is so mean. I take from this that we are not meant to bear this burden alone, that the obstacles we face can only be surmounted by working in concert with others. Ulah's disappearance has thrown the Scholasticate into turmoil, and the long-simmering mistrust between those of noble and ignoble birth has boiled over into outright hatred. Now, more than ever, we must seek to join hands with like-minded souls who understand that this malice will only serve to sow further discord. Like-minded souls such as you. I am reminded of the words of Volume 11 of the Articles of Hellenic Polity. Of the Fury's love will all men receive, and by the balance of her spear will all be set free. We must well, I'm not going to class change to Dragoon for this, so you're out of luck there. We must strive to love our neighbor, even as we love ourselves, just as Halliday does. To do otherwise is to defy her will. Yes, and while we will surely be rewarded for our tolerance, the high-born bastards who would sooner pretend that passage doesn't exist won't be so lucky. Why, they may even find themselves on the receiving end of her spear for everything they've put us through. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? We still haven't found a single clue as to Ulah's whereabouts. Fear not, Lee. With Lore at our side, I have faith that we shall find her, and that she will soon retake her rightful place in the hallowed halls of St. Endelim's Scholasticate. I hope you're right. At any rate, we've done what we came to do, so there's no point freezing our arses off out here. Until we meet again, Lore. What, you're leaving already? Why don't we travel back together? All right. One of you's eating your mic.
Sorry, I was walking into. I had to walk into my bedroom to grab a blanket. It's getting a bit chilly.
Yeah, I'm cold here too. I think we're out of oil.
Oil?
For the furnace?
Huh. I don't even have the heating on right now. Just grabbing my shawl.
It is 57 degrees outside Fahrenheit.
What's that in logical units?
1.8 from 0, that's 25. I think that's like 13 degrees?
It's 12 degrees here.
Yeah, so cold. It is not raining where I am. It's sunny as hell out. Barely a cloud in the sky.
Also, I like that you didn't defend Fahrenheit.
Is there any point? You're just going to shut me down. Listen, Celsius is better for science, and Fahrenheit is better for measuring our daily lives.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, for one thing, smaller units make it easier to set the thermostat.
It's a wider range. The level where 0 Fahrenheit is not particularly logical, but it's useful. The 0 to 100 scale is all temperatures that we might encounter in our daily lives from summer to winter. Celsius, 0 starts at a very logical point, freezing, and the 100 is a very logical point, boiling. But that means that only like the first 25 to 30 degrees of Celsius are useful for our daily lives. And they're much larger units, so it's hard to be granular.
And the negative 10 to 15 or so.
Well, yeah, true.
I mean, we did get to like 40 degrees last year.
That's not helping your case, my man. It's like, yes, the completely normal and rational Celsius scale of negative 15 to 40. Yes, that makes perfect sense. That's a thing to, understand in your day-to-day life. Anyway.
You said you can't move. You're still quite distant sounding.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just hasn't leaned forward again. Mistress Weaver, I trust you were able to find Theomacent and Lee? I see. Yes, the two of them have always shared a special bond with Father Toisseau, one that only seems to have grown stronger with his passing. It's kind of weird. It is encouraging to see that they have taken their lessons to heart and continue to work so fervently for the good of their fellow students. I fear, however, that a dark and treacherous path lies ahead of them. I only pray that when the time comes, they are ready for whatever challenges await. Mistress Weaver, just the woman I was hoping to see after 30 seconds. I am sorry to say that a rather disturbing rumor has been circulating around the Scholasticate of late, one which claims that our comedy arranged for Ula to be taken away. That the boy scorns those who favor different interpretations of the scriptures I do not deny, but I labor to believe he would go so far. To engage in such conduct would risk not only his own position as prefect, but the very honor of House Zemael, both of which mean a great deal to him. Do they mean as much as his own status in the school? Nobles like him are notoriously short-sighted. Regretfully, no one seems to know whence these ridiculous rumors came. But I have an idea. Lee. They could have been concocted by anyone, and for any number of reasons. In any event, with many still unsure what to make of Ulah's sudden withdrawal, these wild accusations have only served to deepen the divide between our seminarians. At this rate, I fear others may decide they no longer wish to remain at the Scholasticate. And so, I would be most grateful if you would consent to investigate this matter. Should you oblige my request, I suggest you begin by speaking with Lebrossois. I am told he has spent the past few days looking into Ulah's activities prior to her departure, likely with the intent to absolve our comedy of suspicion. If I must, where is the little bastard?
Outside, right next to the MSQ quest that we've been ignoring for months. And next to the Trials quest that we've also been ignoring for months. Someday soon we will get to both.
Indeed.
He's not right next to him, he's right around the corner though.
Over here.
I see you on neither the minimap nor my screen.
You should see me on the minimap.
Ah, there you are. Okay. Immediately turns and walks in the wrong direction.
Just watching you spin around. It's like, oh my...
Oh god, I managed to get lost while playing Star Wars: The Old Republic with Ryu and Haven, and just like, oh my god, Law's infecting me.
Where'd you put that book? Let me guess. You caught wind of the rumors and thought you would come and investigate, yes? Well, I'll have you know that our Commodine is innocent. He has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with any of this nonsense. You did it, didn't you? I have known him since childhood. While he might occasionally seem somewhat high-handed, mayhap even callous, he would never do anything to harm anyone. If that is not enough, there is also the fact that in the days and weeks prior to Ulah's disappearance, I was not out of his company for more than a few moments. He could not possibly have committed the crime of which he is accused without my knowledge.
Are you like his secret lover?
No, he's just a lackey. Think.
So, yes.
Oh, what were the names of Malfoy's minions at Hogwarts?
Crab and Goyle.
Crab and Goyle, yeah.
One
Never
of
went
whom
anywhere without him.
One of whom mysteriously changed races halfway through the movies.
No, it's one of them. It's even dumber than that. In the very last movie, only the last movie, I forgot which one, but like one of them got caught selling, I think it was marijuana, and so
That's it?
like in the what?
That's it? You got in trouble for selling weed?
Yeah, but I think he sold enough of it that he like actually did legit jail time, and so because he was in jail, he couldn't film for the last movie, and so like in the last scene with Draco Malfoy, it's like him, Crabbe, and one of the other background characters. I think his name's Blaze. And it's like, what? Why is Blaze here instead of Crabbe? Oh, it's...
I thought Blaze was a girl.
Yeah, Blaze is a girl. You're thinking of somebody else.
Someone. I don't know.
Blaze is one of the people that Malfoy dated in, like, book 4 or something?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well,
I know way
guy.
too much about Harry Potter for my own taste.
Yeah.
I know, me too. I didn't.
Yeah.
I've only ever read the books once, and that was only because I had friends that liked it. I didn't give a shit from the very start.
I loved him as a kid, but...
So, yeah. So, anyway, yeah, that's what happened there. Anyway.
God, it was annoying when people kept saying, "Oh, you look just like Harry Potter." It's like, fuck you.
Whoever orchestrated all of this clearly planned for the blame to fall squarely on his shoulders. That much is certain. Yet numerous as the enemies of House Zemael are, I struggle to think who would resort to something so underhanded. Unless it was the girl herself. Don't you see? What better way to besmirch the good name of one of Ishgard's foremost houses and win over your peers than to vanish and later spread rumors that he was somehow responsible, and then to go and plant what?
Brossois, I don't trust anyone who wears a monocle. Not even Hildebrand, and he's my friend.
That is to say... Oh, by the Fury, I pray I am not making a mistake. But first, I would have you swear to tell none but the Inspector what I am about to reveal. How do you know I'm working with him still?
On retrospect, I especially don't trust Hildebrand.
Look! Nothing! I stumbled across this Volume 11 of the Articles of Hellenic Polity. It had been conspicuously placed in our Commodine's dormitory room, with Ulah's favorite bookmark tucked between its pages. I need hardly tell you what would happen if people were to learn of this. 'Tis but a mercy that I chanced upon it, and not one more credulous. However, now that we have deduced who the... Wow, points for using credulous correctly. However, now that we have deduced who the perpetrator is, it should be simple enough to restore our Commodine's reputation. How would she have planted it if she was trying to be not seen back at the school? All we need to do is prove she and her revolutionary friends are responsible. Were I a braver and more foolish man, I would march down to the broom and demand answers. But you, a hero blessed with the strength of 100, need not fear for your well-being there as I do. You are my only hope. Please, I beg of you, take the book and use it to find the girl and prove these foul rumors false. So, like, I don't actually need Briardien because he's done nothing for this entire plot line. But I should probably check in with him. Yep, deliver Volume 11 to Briardien.
He's the guy in the chair. It's very important to all.
Let's go ask Hilda, even if she doesn't know anything we win, because we will be talking to Hilda. I hear that. Ah, Lore, you are returned. I haven't gone anywhere. I've just been standing here pondering for the entire time you've been investigating. Please, tell me your inquiries have been more fruitful than mine own.
He was in his mind palace, but unfortunately he lost the keys to the door, so he couldn't leave. It's the missing volume. However did you find it? So if his mind palace is so poorly constructed that locking it from the inside doesn't let you unlock it from the inside, what does that say about his brain? Wait, no, I figured it out. At this point, his mind palace is constantly being circled by a dragon that looks like Hildebrand. It's the missing volume. However did you find it? So Lebersois believes that Ula, or one of her revolutionary friends, planted it in Arcomedine's room as part of an elaborate scheme to defame House Zemael. I continue to be amazed by whatever ridiculous conspiracies these children can convince themselves are true, as if the future of Ishgardian society shall be shaped by the actions of some few ambitious seminarians. Anyway, I will allow that she may have been consorting with others who supported Reformation, and were she persuaded to engage in rebellious acts, the dormitory prefect would have been an ideal target. Alternatively, Arcomedine was so arrogant and careless that he thought nothing of leaving incriminating evidence in plain sight. He would hardly be the first. Needless to say, speculation will avail us naught at this juncture. First, I must see what I can learn from this book, in the time before fingerprinting technology was invented. In the meantime, I would have you go and speak with the people of the Broom. See what they know, if anything, about Ula, where she might have gone, who she might have visited, and so forth. Failing that, keep your ears open for news of unusual happenings. One can never be too well informed. I read that like he was getting cut off by something, and then there was a second speech bubble for a single half word.
Yeah.
Let's talk about bookmark. Makes me remember I've lost my favourite one.
Oh.
When I used to volunteer at Oxfam Books, one of the donations that came in had this really cute bookmark. It was wooden and had and would slide on top of the book, but it also had a little elephant carved into it. Like, we wouldn't have been able to sell it, and it would have just gone in the bin otherwise. So I claimed it for myself.
Oh, it sucks that you lost that. That sounds pretty cute.
It was.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, I cannot wait for my surgery. You've heard how many breaths I've been taking in while I've been reading. It's getting harder to breathe. You're not about to ask me to do you a favor, are you?
You'll forgive me for being suspicious, but just the other day, a man draped from head to toe in fine silks approached me, all nervous and twitching. He tossed a purse at my feet, saying that Gillinet was mine for the taking. All I had to do was head to the Crozier and buy him a couple phials of cough syrup. Tempting as it was, I wasn't about to risk getting involved in someone's shady schemes, so I told him to piss off, and that was that. The hell plot was going on with cough syrup? Wait, when did cough syrup get invented in the real world? Wasn't it like 1880 or something?
Random fact, apparently cough medicine doesn't actually work, it's all placebo effect.
Huh. I'd like to see the studies on that. Leave me be. I've got nothing to say to the likes of you. Huh? What was that? I think I might have helped kidnap some highborn girl. God's sakes. You and Teomasin make a fine pair, you do. Acting all high and mighty, pretending you care. And the only time you come around is when you're looking for someone to blame. Sorry to disappoint you, but I've got nothing to do with this Ulah's disappearance. If you ask me, you'd have better luck harassing those blue bloods in the pillars. After all, they know better than anyone how to deal with inconveniences, eh?
I keep reading Ulah's name as Ulala.
Alright, back up to the
I've
Forgotten Night.
I've seen Breaking Bad, so I know exactly what kind of criminal enterprise you can get up to with cough syrup.
Wait, you can make meth out of cough syrup?
Yeah, I mean...
That's why it's...
I mean, meth is basically just concentrated cough syrup. Like, that's... Like...
It's why there's
chemistry.
It's why there's limits on how much of it you can buy.
Yep.
Huh. I distinctly recall telling you once that my patrons appreciate their privacy. Still, I know you wouldn't ask if it weren't important, so this time I'll oblige your curiosity. This hasn't got anything to do with your missing girl, mind, but a few days back, this one fellow comes and pays his tab in full. A surprising development, as I'd long since written it off as a loss. Came into money, he says, and has a mind to settle his debts. Pleased as I am by his changing fortunes, all the while I'm wondering who he left bleeding in an alley to get that much gil at once.
I'm kind of starting to get the headcanon that Bryn has no idea how to pronounce the Elizan names, so like he just runs up to Briardien and goes, "Hello, Guy Brilliant," and she's just like, not sure whether to be offended or flattered.
Meanwhile, Lore acts confused about them all the time, but always gets them right first try.
Yep. Which means he's canonically calling him Femme Albert. Yeah, the Lalafell and the Songbirds is Ulala. Jeez, there's like 3 characters that I like called Ulala.
Man, it must be weird being a Lalafell named Lala. That's basically, your name is human.
Yeah.
No, your name is Hugh.
Oh yeah, true.
Hello, my name is Hugh Mann.
Excellent timing, Lore.
Hugh is actually a name.
Well, yeah.
Yep. That was the joke. Mann is also a surname.
I wonder how many parents have inflicted the name Hugh Man on their children. There's got to be a not insubstantial number.
Yeah.
Excellent timing, Lore. I have findings to share. Yeah, that's a first. While Ulah's bookmark suggests that Volume 11 was within her possession at some point, it does not tell us when that point may have been. With this in mind, I decided to pay a visit to the seminary library. It's only 60 feet away, you see. Sure enough, her signature was in the logs, indicating that she was the last person to have borrowed the tome. I compared the handwriting to samples from her old assignments to be sure, and found no irregularities. One might argue that this supports Leversois' theory, but it is far from conclusive evidence. I suppose you cannot use those vaunted powers of yours to grant us a vision of the past and spare us further hardship. Lore just drops to the ground, seizing.
Briardien, you should know better. It's a hypothesis.
I thought not. Then we shall rely on the more traditional methods. Hey, Ox, how's it going?
Hello.
So, what came of your inquiries in the broom? Do tell. Well, somebody's apparently cooking meth, so... Nothing. But that is to be expected, is it not? Again, I am reminded how ridiculous the two scenarios presented to us purporting grand conspiracies truly are. Is it not more likely that both the girl and Arcomedine are innocent of wrongdoing? Yes, but with me around, things always get weird, so you're in for a world of disappointment, Briardien. We must continue searching for more clues. Even the most insignificant tidbit may be all it takes for the pieces of this puzzle to fall into place. Another week without D&D, that sucks.
Ooh, yeah.
His name was Blaze, you doubters. Blaze Zabini.
Oh.
Fair enough.
Just had to get that out there because it's like, you don't doubt my memory. It's like, not about Harry Potter. You too much of that shit. I'm saddled with all of this knowledge, so don't doubt me on it.
I have never been so proud to be ignorant.
Yeah, I mean that's just how that goes.
A familial resemblance. Seeing how reluctant some of the citizens were to answer your questions, I believe it is best for me to take over investigations in the broom. I'm dressed like a noble, you see. Surely they'll respect me for it. As for you... yes. I am given to understand that Blazy and her friends have been conducting their own investigation. Though I am loath to admit it, given the fact that they are seminarians, I should not be surprised if they have noticed something we overlooked. You may as well go and see what Blazy has learned. If you cannot find her at the Scholasticate, I imagine someone can point you in the right direction. I cannot wait to see what the Stormblood quest accepted jingle is. I'm kind of sick of Heaven's Words.
Well, you've heard it at least once.
Yeah, when I got Red Mage, right?
Yeah, when you picked up Red Mage, and also when you would have picked up Samurai, I suppose. But I don't think you actually accepted the Samurai quest. You just got the job in the stone.
No, there is a quest to get the stone, and then a quest
Oh, that's
to.
right. Yeah. So yeah, you have heard it twice. You picked up those 2 job stones. If you want to hear it again, go do another quest for Red Mage.
Fair enough. That is a question I, too, would like to know the answer to. It feels as though we haven't spoken in ages. I did, however, overhear some of the other seminarians say that they saw Teomacent at the Ark of the Venerable. If so, Blazy is certain to be close by. Yep, we're doing Briardien today. We're in the second half. What with them both working to bring Ula back, Teomacent and Blazy have had a good reason to spend a great deal of time together. These past few days, they've been running around the city making inquiries. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they were up to today.
You also got to hear the Shadowbringer's quest accepted noise from picking up Dancer and Deathbringer.
Well, once they're ingrained into my memory from actually having done a bunch in a row, I'm sure I'll actually remember them. Hasn't she been following Teomacint around like a lost puppy this past fortnight? Find him, and you'll probably find her. That's what I say. I don't know how he puts up with it, frankly. I suppose that, unlike some of the seniors, he's simply too kind for his own good. Listen, when I was 17, I would have loved to hang out with a girl who had a crush on me. Blazy? I haven't seen her all day. I expect she's gone out again with her friends to look for Ulan. I still don't understand why they bother. The girl's probably off gallivanting about with heretics and revolutionaries. Even if they find her, I doubt she'll want to return.
In retrospect, I think I did.
Well, that makes one of us. And of course it's the one whom that would be lost on.
Yeah.
Have you or the inspector managed to deduce anything from the book yet? Pray, apprise me of your progress when you are able. Of course I don't know where she is. While I may be in charge of the dormitory, it is not my responsibility to hold the seminarians' hands or wipe their arses. As you should well know, in light of recent events, our Commodine has not the luxury to concern himself with such trivialities. Well, you'd think he'd keep apprised of the goings-on of the people investigating him.
At least Labradors are genuinely loyal and concerned.
Speak with Blazy in the pillars. Nope, this is the one for the booze. Right? Yeah, that's the one for the booze. There is Blazy. Ah, over here. Just give the poor guy the booze. You startled me. I'm here for Ulan's sake, lest you wonder. This is all part of my investigation, I swear. Pours the booze all over the Leatherworkers Guild floor.
I just got the last stain out.
Yeah.
At least it'll cover the smell.
Yeah.
Wait, you're not a seminarian. And yet, you seem so familiar. Ah, I know, you're my brother's associate. Are you related to Briardien? I kind of thought that's where this was going, but I'm still shocked by it. By brother, you mean... My apologies, Mistress Lore. I suppose we have yet to be properly introduced. I'm Blazy, Briardien's younger sister. It is a pleasure to finally meet you. So he sent you to see what I've learned. Then I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. I spent all morning questioning merchants, watchmen, and random passerby. They told me absolutely nothing of interest. I learned some new swear words, though.
Leminson was in town.
Who?
I said Leminson was in town.
Ah. I've recorded their statements for good measure, but quite honestly, it was a waste of ink and paper. Well, why don't you foist that paper off on your brother and make him pore over it? Blazy, what are you doing here? Teo, why, fancy meeting you here. I was just taking a moment to review these testimonies I had taken and thought to, But of course, you then thought to come and share your findings with us. Lee, you don't have to go in on her like that. Calm down. It's not that funny. Yes, that's it. Well, it might be a bit much. I wanted to make sure I did not omit a single word. By the Fury, Blazy, this is over 100 foams long. I cannot even begin to imagine the amount of effort it took to organize all this information. It's incredibly heartening to know that there are others as dedicated as us to seeing Ula returned. Now let's have a look, shall we?
You know what?
Thank you, Cramorant, for being a good wingman.
you know what really surprised me to learn? The length of a fathom.
It's 6 feet, I believe.
Yeah. It always sounds so much longer when it's used in like nautical stuff.
Well, that's because there's a shit ton of fathoms whenever they talk about stuff. Investigation log, entry 1. Master of Ishgardian Markets, Mistress Elise. Problems? Well, with this recent run of bad weather, we have had plenty. But just the other day, my back started to give me trouble again, and I've had to hobble from place to place. Investigation log, entry 2. House Fortome's Steward, Ottawa. I cannot guarantee that this news will be great interest to you and yours, but a 12-point proposal for the reformation of the Inquisition has recently been tabled by Lord Archoirel in the House of Lords. Poor Blazy. Investigation log, entry 10. Okay, that cut to black implies a lot longer than just 2 to 10. Weaponsmith, Albert. Ever since the Blue Bastard and his lapdog put an end to the war, profits have flowed. So, because of my wardrobe, I'm going to assume I'm the Blue Bastard and Emmerich's the lapdog. Profits have plummeted.
Either that or the assumption is I'm the lapdog. Like, oi.
No, with my ego, I'm definitely assuming Emmerich's the lapdog.
Fair enough.
Profits have plummeted. I've had to sell my best stock for a fraction of its worth just to make ends meet. Oh yeah, I'm just staring up at the sky. Investigation log, entry 21. Carvery, Mestino. Barely enough time to fill my customers' orders, much less to keep an eye out for foolish... God damn it, Teo! That's enough! None of that rubbish is even remotely relevant. No, don't you think you're being a touch too hasty? We've not gotten even a third of the way through. We may yet learn something of value. Let's not dismiss Blazy's hard work out of hand. Thank you, Teo, for your kind words. I'm glad you think it may be of use. Well, he did just say it hasn't been of use yet, Blazy. Fine. Let us briefly entertain this thought and say that something in these notes will help us find Ula. How exactly do you propose that we determine what that is? Well, you gotta finish reading first, Lee. Lee, we needn't do a thing. For though we may lack the skill to discern the relevant from the mundane, turns to lore, a certain inspector we know and love is a dab hand at such things, no? Yes, he is. Let's deliver this to him. I am not doing this work. It's time he did some. But of course, Inspector Briardien. Brilliant idea, creme of voix. Lore, if you would, take this scroll to him and see what he can make of it. I doubt even he could make heads or tails of this rubbish. In any event, it's out of our hands. We should continue with our search. You and Milena sat down in unison there, Minda. Was that just because I loaded in and it loaded your animations at the same time? Or did you actually sit down? Yeah. A certain inspector we know is a dab hand at this stuff. Huh, where do you know Inspector Hildebrand from? Milena is Dan. Gotta differentiate you two somehow.
It's a PvP title. If you win PvP matches while wearing the title, you can unlock some mounts.
Oh, cool.
They're crossover mounts from the Garrett TV series.
Mm-hmm.
We meet again. Doubtless you have much to share. I know I do. Oh, buddy. You have no idea how much I have to share. Do you recall Briardion's patron, who recently paid off his debts, and the gentleman attempting to attain cough syrups? Upon further investigation, it turns out they share one astoundingly similar facial feature, a pale, raised scar running from the top of their left cheekbone to their jaw. It so happens that this description also matches that of a notorious thug who was known to hang around outside taverns and harass patrons for coin, until an unexpected windfall saw his fortunes vastly improve. He is now rumored to make a living as a traveling merchant, though where he goes and what he sells none can say. We shall find out in due time. But enough of my discoveries. What have you learned? How do you get the Dan title? Because then I might just do some junk PvP matches for mounts.
It's from getting all the left side there's crossover gear, and if you get all the left side stuff, so the weapon and helm, chest, arms, legs, and feet, and wear that gear while talking to the person who gives you it, they'll give you a title, which you can then do the PvP matches. You do need wins though.
Yeah. Well, and then it's a unique title for every single job, and most of them are just like Makai Red Mage, Makai White Mage, whatever. But some of them are named after specific characters in the show, based on their gear. I assume I've never seen the show. And
wow, I kind of thought Dan was like a martial arts ranking or something.
It is, but I don't think that's what the reference is to in this.
Yeah, I think it's just named after literally a guy named Dan.
Yeah, but the stuff, the gear to get the title is just from Wolfmarks, which is the currency you get just from doing PvP generally.
But to actually answer your question, I think you just collect the Lancer gear.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's either the Lancer or Warrior. I don't remember, but it's one of those.
Paladin is the Gara title. I believe.
I'll just look it up. I'll just look it up in the achievement wall. Reading dialogue.
I believe Ninja is 0.
Yeah, Ninja is 0. That one I remember.
He is now rumored to make a living as a traveling merchant, though where he goes and what he sells none can say. We shall find out in due time. But enough of my discoveries. What have you learned? By the Fury, this is longer than some scripture. She compiled it all in less than a single day, you say? Remarkable. Investigation log, entry 1. Master of Ishgardian Markets, Mistress Elise. Problems? Well, with this recent run of bad weather, we've had plenty. Why, just the other day, my back started to give me trouble again. I've had to hobble from place to place. On the other hand, the Crozier has seen increased trading in oils, furs, and other goods folks begin to crave when it grows cold. So in that regard, I can't complain. Investigation log, entry 13. Purveyor of sundries, Postevier. The other day, there was this one fellow who wanted to purchase robes for a young woman. A merchant, he said, but I've never known one who couldn't be bothered to haggle. Not that I minded, of course. Investigation log, entry 21. Carvery, Mestino. But barely enough time to fill my customers' orders, much less keep an eye out for foolish girls getting themselves into trouble. Now, if you would excuse me, I really must be getting back to it. I'm expecting several regular customers any minute. Investigation log, entry 47. Apothecary, PN. Mestino has bought my whole stock of cough syrup every day for the past week. Passing strange, needless to say. So I followed him and found that he was reselling my products to another. The nerve of some people, I tell you. Hildebrand, we have to cook. A gentleman procuring cough medicines through a third party. That story has a familiar ring to it, does it not? A man with a questionable past, recently come into wealth, playing at being a merchant, who so happens to travel with a young girl prone to fits of coughing. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Lore? Don't like the cut of Mestino's jib. Nor I. 'Tis a pity our merchant friend had not the wits to match his newfound wealth. I could have done with a greater challenge. But that is neither here nor there. Come, Lore, let us pay a visit to Mestino's stall. If we do some PvP, let me in on it? I might do some PvP to get the mount. Okay. How much PvP do you have to do for the mount? That's going to determine whether I want to bother.
The mount is a whole lot, because the mount is like, you need like 60 wins in both. You need like, I forgot what.
One minute, I can check. PvP.
It's a shit ton of wins.
Okay, mount. Okay, for it's 30 wins in the Crystalline conflict for one of them, 10 wins in Frontline for another one, and 60 combined for the last one. So the fastest way, besides the 10 Frontline wins, would be to just focus on Crystalline conflict.
Fuck. That's 15 hours if you win every match.
No.
60 matches, each takes like 15 minutes.
No. Crystalline conflict takes like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Front lines are the grand scale ones. Crystalline conflict is 5v5.
Yeah, okay.
It's the Team Fortress Overwatch style.
Yeah. And you have to have wins, not just wolf marks?
Wins.
Yeah.
That's going to take a while.
They're really cool, though. They are armored Pegasi. One is gold, one is silver, and one is black. And they're actually in the original series that they released. They're actually a load of reanimated corpses forged into the shape of a horse.
Ooh, cool.
And then the wolf marks to collect like a set of gear, it's like 10,000, which is like 2 or 3 front lines. It's not a whole lot. Like for a long time, that was just where I dumped my wolf marks from doing PvP. And so I have now collected all of them like high gear, just because some of it looks pretty cool too.
Oh yeah. I even on my main paladin glamour, I even use the arms.
But anyway, we have a long quest to do. Like you were talking about what we're going to do after Briardien Day, and like there's not going to be an after.
That's great.
Given how poorly this man has covered his tracks, I am inclined to believe that he will come to the Crozier sooner rather than later to procure the usual assortment of goods. Let us head there, Lore. We must follow the trail while it is still fresh.
That's what that last dialogue from I did the first time, because like I said, follow the medicine, because we are in fact following the medicine, and it's like, no, we shouldn't follow the medicine, we should follow what's the point. And I'm like, it's kind of the same thing. He's gonna be the one with carrying the medicine.
Yeah.
Whatever. Whatever, fine. You don't approve by detecting. Whatever.
I'm actually planning to do a bit of PvP on Bryn just because I want some of the new glamours.
Yeah.
Our suspect could arrive at any moment. Keep your eyes peeled. Are the new glamours limited time, or is it just the new PvP rewards?
Yeah.
They're the new PvP rewards.
Nice. If he comes this way to purchase food and medicines from Mestino, as frequently as Blazy's notes indicate, we shouldn't have long. Lore, over there. That scar, those robes. That's our man. How can you see his scar from 100 feet away, Briardien? Pleasure to see you again, sir. The usual?
Easy. He right-clicked his name and pressed examine.
Huh. Aye, don't forget the you-know-what. Well, let's follow him. Hurry, Lore. We mustn't let him out of our sight. I continue to just stand there watching.
Why am I going to Nash?
Okay, he's in the broom. Oh, my spine. I have awful posture. You know, I should make a Final Fantasy XIV roll on the server so I can tag people for like a night of PvP or whatever.
That sounds like a good idea.
That'd be fun.
Somebody sent me a message on Discord reminding me to do that after the stream. Our suspect just passed through the Ark of the Worthy, where there are like to be fewer people. Take care not to be spotted.
Okay, I sent you a message so you can look at it once it's done.
Thanks. It would appear our suspect is not alone. He has a guard with him. I should like very much to know the contents of that carriage. Keep them distracted while I sneak past, will you? Approach them and announce you are here to conduct a surprise inspection. You will undoubtedly command their full attention for a sufficient amount of time. Are you ready, Lore? Very good.
Funny, you were joking a few minutes ago about going Dragoon for part of the quest. On my other character, I legit did switch to Dragoon just for this one bit. To like really roleplay the surprise inspection bit. Fortunately, I don't have Dragoon on this character, so Dark Knight it is.
Why can I not invite you to party, Minda? Are you already in a party?
It's because I'm party leader.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
Keyboard. Software keyboard to enter any phrase containing the word inspection. Stop. Frog inspection.
Check what I typed.
I'm pretending to do an inspection so that Briardien can sneak past you. Oh, I'm not insane.
Yeah, I was trying to warn you.
Well, you did discover like you can just press up when you're in the party menu to copy the. Not in the party menu, the chat menu.
Inspection? What the seven hells are you on about? You're no temple knight. You've no right. Unless... I trust the goods have been properly secured and the carriage is ready for a quick getaway if necessary. See, that's a cool scar. Why can't we get that Lancer scar?
I believe you can as an Ellison.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right then, where were we? Yes, I will not be consenting to your inspection. Now kindly piss off. Damn it, boy, what are you doing? My apologies, sir. I thought I saw movement around back. Maybe I should go and check. Idiot! Can't you see this goon is intent on starting a fight? Take care of her first and conduct your checks after. As for you, you should have run while you still had the chance. Thanks, Minda. Where's the guard? Oh my god, you killed the guard! You killed the guard before I finished the cutscene! So I didn't get credit for it.
That's the first time I've ever seen a quest, because I got 1 out of 2 there until I started it again, and that's the first time I've ever seen a quest completion go backwards because it went back to 0 out of 2.
Huh.
What the?
Yeah, I've never seen that happen before.
So wait, is the quest just broken for lore now, or what?
No, I got it after we killed the respawned ones.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I obtained 1 gil. Why is Pixel not getting EXP anymore?
Because we're out leveling this content.
Ah, okay.
Pixel, your Chocobo only gets experience if you kill things that are within your level range. So, like, if you get experience from killing things, and you don't anymore because these guys are weak sauce.
I got 411 experience from killing those guys.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Yeah, but the level range for Chocobo is a lot tighter.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like you will always get some experience even fighting the weaker stuff, but Pixel will not.
Yeah.
Lore, it was as we suspected. The thug and his guard have been holding Ula hostage in the back of this carriage ever since she vanished. Though this ordeal has undoubtedly caused her a great deal of distress, she does not appear to be physically injured. What about the tuberculosis? Well, you are doubtless eager to question her, as I am. She must be given time to rest and recuperate. These two, on the other hand, need not be afforded any such consideration.
That explains the cough syrup, actually.
You there, what is the meaning of this? It seems all that earlier commotion has drawn the attention of the guards. Excellent. They can deal with the ruffians. Do we trust them to? So do you just carry zip ties with you wherever you go, Briardien? Because I'm not the one who tied them up. I shall escort Ula to the Scholasticate dormitory and speak with the instructors. When all has been settled, let us speak again at St. Remino's Cathedral. Lore's the one who fried them up. Ha!
Yeah, actually, that's why fates are generally one of the best ways to learn chocobos, because fates always level sync you, which means you're always getting combat experience from them, and therefore so is your chocobo.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Ideally, you want to do higher level fates, because higher level fates give more XP to you and your chocobo. So that's been like a little pet project that I've been doing the last few months, where sometimes I'll just like go to the level 90 zones and do a couple fates with my chocobo to get my chocobo XP up.
Mine's been max level for a long time.
Yeah, mine is at like level 16, I think, so like only a few more to go, but it's not something I'm like putting a priority on.
Is Chocobo max level 20?
Yes. Yeah. Although the initial max is 10 and you have to force feed it onions in order to get it higher.
Oh, maybe mine's at 10. Maybe that's why I'm not getting EXP.
I don't think it is, because we've checked before.
Well, I'll check after this conversation.
Yeah.
You should be glad to hear that Ula will be fine. Sister Gaytel is with her now, tending to her needs as we speak. Alright, good talk. Time to check my chocobo. Or not, cutscene. I expect she will soon be strong enough to answer our questions. Until then, however, we must make do with what information the Temple Knights can extract from the kidnappers. Unfortunately, while the ruffians confess to abducting Ula in exchange for a large sum of gil, they have told us little else of value thus far. Apparently, their employer draped themselves in such thick furs that they could not even say if they were a man or woman. They claim this cloaked figure offered no explanation as to why they wanted them to snatch the girl and keep her confined to the carriage indefinitely. And so they had no choice but to keep moving, to stay ahead of the Temple Knights and await further instructions. And they were kind enough to take care of her cough, apparently. Hopefully, we will learn more as the interrogations progress. I fear, however, our mastermind has cloaked themselves in layer upon layer of secrecy, and it will take more than a few pointed questions to penetrate all of them. It was Halliday! The Fury did it! Alright, who's this guy? That's not Teomacint, is it? I've never seen him from behind. Yeah, it is. But regardless of how well they have hidden their intentions and their identity, we will bring them to justice soon enough. And once we learn all that we can from our friends in the Temple Knights' custody, as well as Ula, we will be that much closer to restoring peace to the Scholasticate. To shine the light of truth upon the secrets buried in the dark, the children once more come together, that they may know her power and her glory. Is that the 3.2 or 3.4 quest? Back to school 2.
3.4 done.
Oh, okay. So we've got 3.5 left. We've made more progress than I expected.
Yeah.
All right, let me see my chocobo.
You want to click on companion on the character.
Could be rank 10. Mine's rank 9.
Mine's rank 10.
Oh, you need an onion then. Set
Cool.
to the market board real quick.
What?
You need an onion then. Let's head to the market board.
Does that unlock all of 11 to 20, or will I have to buy more onions?
Just 10 to 11. So yeah, you need 10 onions total to max out your chocobo. It's just a tiny little gold sink to, you know.
If you've maxed out the entirety of one of the skill trees, you'll also have gotten a barding for it.
You're looking for that variant onion, but it's easier to just write onion.
Onion Prince seeds, Onion Prince, and Onion Prince flower vase.
Oh, have you got partial match turned on?
No.
It is not.
Yeah, turn partial match on.
Wild onion?
Fafnarian onion?
Fafnarian onion. Oh, that's a lot of gil. I mean, I have it.
Yeah, it's fine.
There's one. There's
How much
two.
are they going for on this server?
There's three. 91,000.
That's not bad.
There's four.
The seeds are even more
5,
expensive.
There's 6.
Oh, that's weird.
There's 7. There's 8. And there's 10.
Oh wow, the Fafnarian onion market has actually, because the seeds are more expensive than the onions themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, so do I just use it for my inventory?
Yeah, only use one at a time.
You must first summon your companion. I have to be outside to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll pick
Yeah,
up the quest from Briardien and then I'll teleport outside of town.
Yeah, if you use it when it's not currently maxed out on experience, you won't get any.
You'll just waste the onion.
Yeah.
Hey, we have an almost canon name. Yuffie Kizaragi. From the Wutai clan.
Nice. I'm just watching War get lost again. At this point, you have to learn yourself.
Indian's max rank is now 11. I should spend skill points, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Like I said, if you max out all of one tree, you'll get a barding.
I was making it a healer. Expanded HP by 5%. Orders Chocobo to restore its own HP and the HP of all nearby party members. Cool. Alright, you obtain a set of White Mage Barding. Oh, I wonder if it has the red triangles on it. Is that just in my Chocobo's inventory now?
Yeah, it'll be under your companion menu.
Appearance. Oh, that's cute. Completely blinds my Chocobo, but it's cute.
I mean, it already had an eye patch on with the black mage hat.
Perfect timing. I need to go check the mail. I'll be right back.
Aye aye. Oh, by the way, Minda, that trivia that I sent you, if we don't tell Law who the boss is, would it be alright to tell him?
Excuse me.
Oh, we were.
I don't know. It's funnier with context.
True.
Lord must have a lot of mail.
Indeed.
In other D&D news, had another group start a new campaign last night, which was fun. As we finished up our last one a few weeks ago, and I've been doing like session 0 stuff ever since. Last night was the first proper session.
We started a new campaign as well on Sunday on it by the 7C rule set.
Oh yeah, nice.
I'm actually really liking this system.
Oh, yeah.
Like every role is a skill check and with a stat check at the same time. So like and it depends on the context. So for example, if I were to be sneaking across say like a ceiling beam, it might be a hide roll with a finesse roll involved. So it'd be my 3 points in hide and my 3 points in finesse. Each would be a dice.
Sort of like a World of Darkness kind of thing.
I don't know. But
World of Darkness is a similar way, where like you have points and attributes and points and skills, and so if you're making a roll for a thing, you add up the number of points you have in the relevant stat and the relevant skill, and that's how many dice you get to roll.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, the way that passing things works is you need a certain amount of I can't remember what they're called, but basically all your rolls are on d10s, and you need to get 10s in order to pass. But you can combine as many of the dice together to get that 10. So if I needed 2, I could if I rolled a 10, a 6, a 3, and a 2, I've got the 10 naturally, and then those other ones add up to 11, so I'd get the 10 from that. But that last one would not roll over. So if I were to need more than that, I would have to. So if I'd roll a 9, that would still only be that'd actually still only be 1 victory because I wouldn't have enough.
You have to use the dice to get the dice.
Yes.
Briardien's eyes smolder with determination. Student body's revenge. Revenge of the nerds, I see.
That's alright.
Lore, I was wondering when you'd show up. The Temple Knights have deemed Ula fit to recount the events of her kidnapping, and have taken her into the room just beyond for questioning, with Blazy to accompany for support. It would appear the questioning is done. Let us see what we might learn. Hail, my good man. I am Inspector Briardien, and this is my associate, Lore. I understand that you have spoken with Ula regarding her kidnapping. Is there aught you might share with us? Inspector Briardien, Mistress Lore, I fear that it would seem the Lady Ula knows even less of her own abduction than we do. As she tells it, the only people she saw during her captivity were the 2 thugs now in our custody. We've questioned them thrice over, but they insist their employer had disguised themselves so well they cannot even say for certain if they are a man or a woman, much less give us a description.
It was Gogo.
Ha! For what little it's worth, we did learn that the 2 were once orphans, raised as charges of the sea, to betray the nation that fed and clothed them for a handful of coin. But I must return to my post. Should we come across anything of actual significance, I shall be sure to alert you. Lazy, are there any details our friend may have neglected to mention? I fear that Ula's testimony proved entirely unenlightening. There is another development, however, that has been troubling me. Rumors that Arcombadine was behind the abduction are circulating around the Scholasticate once more. Again with those asinine allegations. And this time, the students seem convinced more than ever of his guilt. No longer content to sit back and wait for events to take their course, they've been pushing for his expulsion. Teo has been doing his best to convince them to disregard the rumors, and it seems any mention of Arcombadine only serves to fuel their rage. I must hurry back and help him. I suspect that this is less a reflection on the prefect himself than a manifestation of aimless anxiety and fear. Are you sure? Because he's kind of an asshole. Still, I dare say this commotion might prove to be an opportunity in disguise. I shall make my way to the vault to continue my own investigations. In the meantime, I ask that you go and keep an eye on the seminarians and an ear to the ground.
Yeah, White Mage for filling out the healer circle thing. I believe the other two gets are Dragoon for the attack
Yep.
stat line and Warrior for the
It's called Paladin armor for a tank.
Oh, is it Paladin armor? Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
you get gear sets inspired by Dragoon Paladin gear.
Cool.
Yeah.
You can. What does it cost to respec your chocobo?
It doesn't matter. You will get enough points if you max it out. You will be able to max out all three of them.
Oh, okay.
There's another fruit that you can give it. You can give it that like the onion has to be grown. What's it? It's not the hand lemon because that's the one that resets your feather color.
And what if those ruffians truly were in his employ? Are we to stand idly by until he betrays one of us, as he did poor Ula? Did that guy just thumbs up? His refusal to provide us with anything resembling a reasonable explanation speaks for itself. The boy is guilty, and I say we move to have him expelled from the Scholasticate, effective immediately. Theomacent, I demand that you take lead of this charge. Why don't you do it yourself? You're the one who's got the idea. Thank the Fury you've come, Lore. Since the headmistress called everyone away for an emergency meeting, it's been absolute chaos. They're so incensed they won't listen to a word Teo or I say. Perhaps if you were to speak with them, it would help to soothe their angry feelings. One thing's for sure, if he didn't deserve it for this, he deserved it for something else. I think we should let the student body have him. Everyone, please, calm yourselves. Before we take any drastic measures, let us discuss the matter like rational men. I'm sick of our Combadine always pushing us around. If we don't take action now, what's to stop him from continuing to make our lives miserable? Or worse? No, not Theomacent again. Tremorant. The frustration and anxiety that's been building ever since Ula first went missing has finally come to the surface, and for better or worse, it's all being directed at our Combadine. I fear their anger will drive them to do something we'll forever regret. Well, I don't know if you'll regret getting rid of our Combadine. Please, can you try and talk some sense back into them? There's no solid evidence against our Combadine, just these vague rumors that keep making the rounds. With all the resentment toward him, however, I guess that was all that was needed to indict him. So what if we've no proof that he had a hand in Ula's abduction? He's guilty of so much more than that. Just ask anyone who's suffered under his reign of terror. Okay. /soothe. Did I just pet him like a dog? On second thought, I dare say you have the right of it. Well, that was easy. The prefect has the riches of House Zemael at his disposal, and powerful allies just waiting to spring to his aid. We must step back and consider our actions carefully, lest we find ourselves strung up by the necks. So you would suggest we do nothing? The longer we dither without taking action, the greater the risk of him finding us out. And when he does, he'll see every last one of us suffer for it. Mark my words. He is frightened, as are we all, but that is precisely why we must proceed with caution. As you rightly observed, if we act out of anger or despair, we only doom ourselves to failure. Please, ma'am, if you would, rally his spirits as you have calmed mine own.
Alex and me. I miss Overwatch.
Me too.
I tried Overwatch, and it was kind of fun, but
I have this one play of the game in Overwatch where it starts before the match even begins. It's literally got the countdown to starting the match.
wow, what happened in it?
My late friend Dave, he got up in their faces at the start gate with a diva so that they couldn't see out. I was playing Junkrat. I put a trap down and a mine, and then hid around the corner while he was doing that, so they couldn't see it. And the thing that happened was immediately somebody walked out into the trap. I detonated it and shot a load of grenades and killed 4 people before they'd even left the entrance.
Nice.
Everybody voted for me, including the enemy team after that. I'll link you the video afterwards.
But, of course, it is exactly as you say. Forgive me, my fear had gotten the better of me. Indeed, there is little he can do to us if we act as one and proceed with due caution. And remember, once our Commodine is removed from the school, the administration will keep us safe, so we need not fear his retribution ever again. We must move swiftly, but surely, to ensure his expulsion. Teomosin, can we count on you to lead us? No, you can't. Why are you asking this? You're a coward. Do your dirty work yourself. Thank you, Lore. Now that everyone is feeling more at ease, let us open the floor for discussion. I welcome any and all opinions, provided that they are delivered in a calm and orderly fashion. I believe there is just cause to expel our Commodine. As Lore was kind enough to point out, however, we should not act brashly. That is why you, Teomosin, with your calm demeanor, are best suited to head our appeal to have him removed. What say you? Given the way he's treated you in the past, I can understand why you'd readily assume the worst of him. I cannot help but believe, however, that he too is a victim in all of this. I strain to think that anyone who cares so deeply about the Scholasticate and its inhabitants could commit such an atrocity. Does he care about the inhabitants, Teomosin? Teo, for the Fury's sake, you would defend the very individual who for the past several years ridiculed and tortured us. Is it so impossible for you to believe that he is capable of such villainy? Until there is proof to say he is guilty, we must give him the benefit of the doubt. Teo is right, Lee. I bear no great love for our Commodine either, but even the Temple Knights have been unable to uncover a single piece of evidence tying him to the kidnapping. The same knights who have pulled the wool over our eyes for 1,000 years, stripping us of all we own to protect men like him. How heartening that is to hear. I would have thought that after all you'd endured at our Commodine's hands, you would stand with us. I see I was wrong. Friends, it would seem the commoner has grown too content under the nobleman's yoke to fight for his ideals. If we are to see justice served, we must do so with our own strength, our own voices. Let us draft a petition that our grievances might be heard and the blackguard expelled.
That gives more evidence to the idea that the red stripes mean they're highborn.
How can they be so blind? The villain who kidnapped Ula is playing us all for fools, stoking the flames of hatred that we might all be consumed by them. What if it's Saturn Wa?
Okay, that was a good time to ask. What do you think, Lord? Who's guilty?
That is a good question. Huh. Blazy! No. I think I've hit the nail on the head. I think it's one of the teachers. Yeah, I think it's one of the teachers. Could be the uncle, could be Gaetel, could be Saturnois. Huh.
You know, it's kind of funny that such a rich quest line is just hidden with a random NPC who has a completely mundane other quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty weird. Kind of a shame. I wonder what percentage of players found this.
I mean, it's the good news is that since MMO, people like talk to each other, and so I don't think very many people find this on their own. They just find it because a friend says, "Hey, you should do this one quest over here," and his card takes you back to Briardien.
Especially since the game discourages you from doing side quests.
Yeah.
So if you see a random one that doesn't have anything interesting in it, you're not going to pursue that to the actual interesting stuff. I can understand not wanting to condemn the man without solid evidence, but Teo practically threw himself on the bastard's burning pyre back there. And for what? He's suffered the most in our Commodine's hand. Why does he still try to help him? Teo is a man of unwavering principle. That's what I admire about him. I wish I too were possessed of such staunch conviction. There's no stopping an angry mob, I fear. I wonder if any of us will emerge from this unscathed. Eobosund looks down and sighs in defeat. Oh, well. The portrait for this one is Saturnois, so maybe I'm right about it being Saturnois. If only I could have done more to dissuade them. This blind persecution will only serve to further divide us, and our Commodine's expulsion would be a tremendous loss for the Scholasticate. Why will no one listen to reason? Will it be a loss, though? I don't think it will. Teo, there's still time to turn things around. I'm sure of it. I'll help you in any way I can. Thank you, Blazy, for your kind words. Indeed, it's not too late to reverse the course of today's events. We should try speaking with Father Saturnois. Surely he'll know what to do. Incredible. Despite all that, he's still intent on saving our Commodine. Lord, there's no talking him out of it now. Considering how our last discussion ended, it would put me at much at ease if you would accompany us. I shall be staying behind. There are a few things that I would attend to here. My dear Blazy, if you would, I could do with an extra pair of hands. In that case, Lee, Lore, let us make haste to the cathedral. The headmistress's meeting will not run forever, and we must catch Father Saturnois before the others do. They've still got to draft that petition. It's only been like 2 minutes. How does it discourage you from doing side quests? I've done them all. The game throws experience at you from the main quest and dungeons and trials. To a degree that if you do the side quests, and there are a lot of them, you will overlevel substantially, rendering a lot of the main quests trivial. Oh, Teomasent and Lee were there. I forgot to talk to them. Teomasent, Lee, and Lore. Whatever brings you here in such a hurry? Mayhap it concerns the petition I just received from the student body. Not to worry. Rest assured, I have reviewed the document and will be submitting it to the headmistress shortly, along with my own strong recommendation in favor of our Commodine's immediate and irrevocable expulsion from the Scholasticate. Wait, Father, we are not here in support of the petition, but rather to argue against it. We cannot rightly expel our Commodine for a crime that the evidence, or lack thereof, suggests that he did not even commit. Quite true. And yet it is not because I believe him guilty that I have chosen to move forward with this proposal. Then why? Oh yeah, it's him. For too long has our church been corrupted by men and women who would see its foundation built upon sin instead of virtue. I mean, to put an end to this vicious cycle. What are you saying? Teomosund, Lee, there is something you must know. When I was young, I too was taken under the wing of Father Trousseau. It was by his good graces that I gained admission into the Scholasticate, not unlike yourselves. I devoted myself entirely to my studies, that I might prove myself worthy of his kindness. My dedication was rewarded when I graduated at the top of my class and secured a prized position in the archives, alongside some of the Holy See's most esteemed individuals. It was there that I met the man who would become my closest friend and confidant. For 10 years he had toiled in the sea's darkest recesses, working to see that the ugly truth of Ishgard's past would never see the light of day, until the day the burden grew too great to bear, and he took his own life. So this is all revenge against the knobs. For years I was torn between grief and anger at not being able to save him from his fate. Fearing my anguish would consume me, I found succor in my religion. Day and night I'd pore over scripture, and soon I found myself back in these very halls, not as a student, but as a teacher. And now that's all been yanked out from under you, and you're looking to lay the blame. A tragic story, indeed, and you have my condolences for your loss. But what does any of this have to do with our combinine? Of the Fury's love will all men receive, and by the balance of her spear will all be set free. Doubtless you too are familiar with these words. Those who deny the teachings of Volume 11 commit the greatest sin of all. They must bear full responsibility for the injustices wrought on the victims of our society. Master Arcombadine has done naught but scorn the truths penned within the tome. His dismissal is long overdue. He is an asshole, but you're making me very uncomfortable, Saturnois. Using religion as an excuse to punish this guy. It's the good part of your religion, at least, but... This is madness. The Fury knows I bear no love for the bastard, but what you propose is to lay the blame for generation upon generation of the Church's transgressions at his feet. I do only what must be done. Countless lives were lost in the Dragon Song War. We must needs purge the Church of any who espouse the false ideal that all men are not born equal, that the sins of our past are never repeated, and that the clergy might be restored to their former glory. Yeah, expel him based solely on the merit of Volume 11. Don't punish him for crimes he didn't commit. Yeah, agreed. I have faith in you, my children. Reflect on the teachings of Father Trousseau. If you do not understand now, you will soon enough. Great, he's a zealot. I knew it was him. It is true that Father Trousseau was an ardent advocate of equality, who strove always to adhere to the principles espoused in equal under her ever-watchful gaze. 'Tis equally true that Arcombadine has been outspoken in condemning that self-same passage. Still, that hardly warrants his expulsion. Well, okay. Look, Saturnois doing it for zealot reasons, and I don't like zealots. But if you're trying to make the Church serve the people again, and follow the ideal that all men are created equal, expelling a guy who refuses to abide by that philosophy does make sense. And the kid is an asshole who is not going to change his tune. You must admit the man has a point. Making an example of the son of one of Ishgard's most prominent houses would send a message, and it just might be the fastest way to bring about the change he seeks. Whether or not that change would be for the better, however, is another matter entirely. It was one thing when it was just an angry mob of seminarians calling for Arcomedes' head. Now that Father Suttonwa intends to lead the charge, it's another matter entirely. Whatever are we to do? Must speak with Arcomedes. But of course, Arcomedes' nothing if not astute. He's sure to have an idea or two on how to extricate himself from this predicament. Come, let us make for the pillars. Because we always know where he is.
And I'm back.
Welcome
Hey,
back.
just in time.
So going off of what Milena said, how does the game discourage you from doing side quests? I wouldn't say the game discourages you from doing side quests. It's just that it does absolutely nothing to encourage you to do them, which is a problem because like there is like incentive to do any other activity. You can go to Wolf's Den and see what the PvP rewards are. You can do blue quests to get various game features, spells, or access to new dungeons. There are tangible rewards for doing those things. With the side quests, really the only reward is the act of doing them themselves, which is fine. Some of the side quests are high quality, but they're frequently less high quality. They have lower production value and have less narrative impact than the main story quest. So you're comparing bananas to green bananas in that regard.
I could be running dungeons right now, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I could be running dungeons right now or doing MS. And eventually you'll get to the end of the main story quest, and then you won't have anything else to do. But there are other things with better rewards than side quests, and so yeah, they're just kind of in this weird spot. 16 has the same problem, which I have seen a number of reviewers of 16, which was made by the same team as largely the same team as 14. I've seen a number of game reviews for 16 actively discourage people from doing the side quests in that game because they kind of interrupt the flow. And I disagree with that because I'm a percenter kind of player who just does everything.
Oh yeah, and 16. I think 16 side quests were really good at adding lore.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the other thing too, is that they're boring, but they definitely have. They're not boring, but they add a lot of lore context and things like that. Background filler detail, but they are objectively just pretty much all of the side quests in 16s are go here, kill 3 monsters, come back, and get a little bit of exposition on the state of the world when you do so. And it's that's good enough for me, but I can see why would skip those.
So it never really changes past the point where I made it to.
The
structure of the side quests.
The structure of the game does not change significantly from where you stopped. Yeah, 16 side quests are really good. Add a lot. Yes, they kind of got it in one.
You broke up, so I'll read it off. 16 side quests are really good and add a lot and are terribly paced.
Yes.
Lore, what should we do? I've never seen them like this. So that's why Arcomedes hasn't been rampaging about the Scholasticate. Call me crazy, but I almost feel sorry for Le Brassois. Leave us. This has nothing to do with you. What baseless accusations would you care to hurl at me this time? Attempting to destroy the church? Or perhaps you're here to bring to light the personal hand I had in instigating the Dragon Song War? Perhaps, instead of entertaining every ridiculous rumor you hear, you might actually make yourself useful for once. You can start by questioning those two beside you. After all, they're the ones who arranged this entire farce, and have been spreading these letters in a pathetically transparent attempt to incriminate me that I might be expelled. Oh, somebody's trying to blame Teomacent and Lee. Please, listen, Arcomedy. We know that the accusations being leveled at you are unfounded. I know we've had our differences, but today we come to lend you our aid. He's so full of rage he can scarce hear a word I say. Please, Lore, perhaps you could try soothing him. Okay, look. I get that they want to work the emotes into the main story so they're not just for role-playing, but it always feels so silly and lame when you do this.
Just press up twice, as you already did soothe twice ago.
T4 Star just uploaded their Broly commentary. Nice.
Oh, nice. For a minute I was like, wait, didn't they do that 4 years ago when it came out? But no, you're talking about the movie they did.
Last year.
Don't make me laugh. You expect me to believe that you, the two who would stand to gain the most from my expulsion, have not so much as seen the nonsense that's been making the rounds in the dormitories? The truth revealed, our commandant day Zemael, a kidnapper. Trust me, were we to try and implicate you in a crime you didn't commit, we would have done a far more thorough job than this. Indeed, these writings simply make an appeal to emotion, with not a single piece of concrete evidence to support the accusation.
I love how bad stuff are their upsets in them. It's like, this is just an emotional argument. Nothing substantial here. Terrible word. Terrible blackmailing word. Not blackmailing.
Indictment?
Terrible libel. That's what we're looking for.
Fine. Perhaps it wasn't you two after all. Still, you rest assured that when I get my hands on the commoner that did this, they'll rue the day they thought to meddle with the affairs of House Zemael. You could just try not being an asshole. You best realize we commoners are not the ones on trial here. You are. I suggest you watch your tongue, unless you would prefer to lose the only allies you seem to have these days.
Archibald's like wearing like the most feminine earrings I've seen in this game.
Did you just say Archibald?
Yes, I refuse to give him his real name.
Ah, okay.
Out of disrespect.
Do not lose heart, Arcomedine. Together we'll uncover the truth and see that this baseless petition against you was withdrawn. Why would I need your help? My innocence is beyond question. The Fury herself will see my good name restored. I pray that she will. In the meantime, we too shall do our part. Fury's sake, Teo, leave it be. That aside, where did these papers even come from? And why didn't we receive one? If I had to guess, perhaps they were given only to those most inclined to believe the accusations. So why didn't Lee get one? Foolishness at best. If anything, these letters will only give me the clues I need to identify the coward behind them. As a matter of fact, I believe I know precisely where to begin my search. Brilliant! We would be more than happy to assist you in the investigation. Where would you have us go? To hell, is what he's going to say. And hand you the very knife he would put in my back? Do you think me daft? If the petition is approved and I am expelled, that would put you right at the top of the class. How very convenient. Oh, Arcomedine, don't you see? It is not for awards or accolades that I study the scripture as I do. I seek only to follow in the footsteps of Father Choiseul. It was he who granted me the chance to achieve the grand vision he had for our realm, and bring relief to those in need of spiritual succor. Of the Fury's love will all men receive, and by the balance of her spear will all be set free. I would share the wisdom of these words with all of Ishgard. Volume 11, the 72 Articles of Hellenic Polity. What is it with commoners and their obsession with that over-idealistic screed? Come, Arcomedy, let us not waste any further time entertaining the idle musings of the riffraff. Look, we can manage just fine without your help, but if you do find anything, not that we expect you to, you'll report back to us if you know what's good for you. Understood? Man, you are graceless assholes. Why are we helping these idiots?
Because they're technically innocent.
If I didn't know better, I'd almost say that sounded like a thank you. No, it didn't. Well, if there's nothing else to do here, I suppose we should set to work.
Criminal justice system does not distinguish between guilt and innocence. It distinguishes between guilt and not guilt.
Yep. I was going to bring that up myself, but you beat me to it.
Damn it, that's what I needed at the store today. I was just looking over at my kitchen, remembering the thing I went to the grocery store to get this morning and then forgot to get.
Got everything except the thing you were explicitly there to find.
Yep.
Man, I keep reminding myself every morning before I go to Grandma's to take care of the Tupperware that she loaned me and the tape measure she loaned me, and I have been forgetting for weeks, even though I tell myself minutes beforehand.
Put it by your shoes.
I thought it would work out.
I mean, you say that, but I had a bag right next to my shoes for like a week and a half that I kept forgetting to take.
Well, I think it'll still help.
Yeah.
An excellent idea, Lee. Now, where do you propose we should start? The Fury save us.
You know what actually might work better than that? There's a place. It could be I always put on my shelves that I always put my keys on. I'll put them on there so my keys are literally on top of them.
There you go.
Even better, put the keys in the Tupperware. That way you physically have to interact with the Tupperware to get your keys.
Knowing me, I would probably try and open the door with the Tupperware.
There's a great clip out there, like of a security camera. I'm pretty sure it's set up. I'm pretty sure it's fake. I'm pretty sure it was like a video they made of like a woman walks out her door carrying a baby and a bag of garbage, and then it cuts to her a couple minutes later walking back to the apartment with the bag of garbage. And she kind of right back out frame.
Milena, I see you hiding in this bush. You cannot hide from me. Teo wasn't so insistent on helping the bastard, and I've left him to find his own way out of this mess.
Ooh, nice on black lyrics.
Ooh, okay, this is the final quest then. Spectacles emote and Inspector's eyeglasses.
So remember when you asked about that emote that the Inspector does constantly?
Fair enough. If we could only track down the author of the letters and convince them to recant these statements, the student body would have no choice but to withdraw their motion. But where would we even search? Well, compare the handwriting to Saturn was, for starters. Searching for more of the same document. A brilliant plan, Lore. By examining all the letters that have been distributed throughout the Scholasticate, we may very well find clues leading us to the culprit. It's settled then. Let's return to the Scholasticate and commence our search. I wonder if we'll get a fight this chapter. It would seem that more than a few of the students tossed the papers in the rubbish without so much as reading them. Thankfully, I was able to scavenge some of the ones that had been thrown away. A few of the seminarians were generous enough to lend us letters they received. Upon closer examination, it would appear that, while the overarching message is the same, the precise arguments made differ from letter to letter. Whatever could this mean? That they were customized for each student? Interesting. Teo has already apprised me of the situation. Not that he needed to, mind you. It is for that very reason that I remained behind with Blazy, to investigate the origin of the nasty rumors flying about. It didn't take long for us to connect the rumors to the letters and coax one of the seminarians to show us the document they had received.
I
investigated further. What?
I got distracted by glamour. I'm catching up now.
Huh. I investigated further, and behold, these are all the ones I managed to collect in my search thus far. The other 4 you're looking for. Under normal circumstances, the baseless invectives penned here would hardly suffice to convince anyone. It would seem, however, years of harbored animosity have blinded people to their better judgment. Hang on. You said these are the letters, plural. All of them. Did you only find one? Oh, yes. In fact, Cremevoix and I have been gathering letters all evening. Feast your eyes on this. One of the girls said that the letter just showed up on her bed, as if out of nowhere. I returned to my quarters to check if I had received something similar, but there was nothing to be found. At first, I thought it a simple oversight, but after asking around, I learned that there were more than a few others who, like me, had been overlooked. Tailored to the people who would most go off. Suspicious letters? Whatever are you talking about? I've not received anything of the sort. Now that you mention it, however, I did observe some of the seminarians tossing out crumpled slips of paper. Mayhap these are the letters you seek. She didn't even give me a letter. I guess it's 4 out of 5 objectives, not 4 out of 5 letters.
Yeah.
Ah, Lore, did your search prove fruitful? Suspicious. Excellent. Let us take a closer look and see what we can discern. How curious. It would appear our culprit has gone through the trouble of writing and distributing 3 distinctly different versions of the letter. The first reads, as illustrated by the recent abduction that has taken place within these sacred halls, our Commodine will stop at nothing to eliminate those who stand in his way. Such blatant disrespect of her teachings must not be tolerated. The second says, it is one thing to disagree with the opinions of your fellow seminarians. It is quite another to abuse one's influence to have your ideological opponents removed. Ula, a firm believer in the teachings of Volume 11 of the Articles of Hellenic Polity, and staunch advocate of equality, fell victim to our Commodine's treachery. The villain cannot go unpunished. And last but not least, Ula's copy of Volume 11 was discovered in the prefect's room shortly after the girl's disappearance. This, more than anything, proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that our Commodine is guilty. The only people who know about that are us, Brawman, and whoever planted it. Has Sartanois said anything about the planted book? I don't think he has. Well, the final letter at least offers an argument. It is hardly a compelling one. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but aren't there several copies of the Articles of Hellenic Polity sitting on our library shelves? Well, I can't speak to why our Commodine would have one in the first place. The book found in his quarters could have been any one of those. Blazy, when you spoke with Ula earlier, did she mention anything about Volume 11? I didn't think anything of it at the time, but while Ula was recovering in the infirmary, she asked that I retrieve her copy from her room. When I went to look for it, it wasn't there. Which would mean the tome was removed, unbeknownst to her. So it would seem. After all, she testified that when the two thugs seized her at the marketplace, she had nothing on her person but a pocket of gil. Presumably, the book was still in her quarters then. It would be one thing if the book had disappeared with Ula, but for someone to sneak into her room and remove it after the fact, why, it's as if the culprit intended to use it to frame our Commodine all along. Why, I'd bet my last gil you're right. That's the reason none of us received a letter. We're the only people who would be able to confirm with Ula that the book had been pilfered from her room. What about what's-her-face, Janet over there? She didn't get a letter. But who would go to such great lengths to frame our Commodine? That's Arteo, always striving to help his fellow man, even if that man is all that stands between him and the top of the class. It's enough to leave a girl smitten. Isn't it, Blazy?
That's exactly the kind of wingmanning I do in D&D all the time. Just like, hey, character A, interact with character B. And everybody else is like, no.
What if it's Lebrassois? Who's sick of being pushed around like a lackey? Huh. Alright, so it's either Sartanois or Lebrassois. What are you talking about? I'm not smitten. I just admire him for his kind heart, is all. Blazy? Why ever did she dash off like that? Has she taken ill? Yeah, lovesick. In a manner of speaking, I'll go and make sure she's okay, you blind idiot. He just gave you the setup, Teo, and you watched it sail over the plate. Oh, dear. Well, whatever it is, I hope she recovers quickly. In the meantime, we need to put our heads together if we hope to get out of this mess. Lore, what do you think? Why would anyone go to such lengths to implicate our Commodine? To throw others off the scent. But of course, none save the kidnapper, him or herself, would have such a strong motive to concoct this convoluted plan, which raises the possibility that the kidnapping was not but a plot to have our Commodine expelled in the first place. In other words, if we can track down the person behind these letters, we have ourselves the culprit behind Ula's abduction. We must inform Inspector Briardien straight away. He's currently conducting an investigation at the vault, you say? Let us make our way there with all speed. To the vault, to the vault. Ow, excuse me. Blazy's quicker than she looks. I gave up my search when it became evident I had no chance of finding her. I was just on my way back when, lo and behold, but who do I see but you three? Oh my god, the fat cat is splooting.
Oh, the fat cat is great. Yes.
Ah, perfect vantage point. From here... That fog is obstructing the atmosphere of the cutscene.
I kind of think it adds to it.
That's him, over there. Wait, it's not Blazy, is it? Hang on. She's seen the way our comedy treats Teo, who she's in love with. What if it's Blazy? Ah, it's you. She's also got her brother's experience in inspecting to look upon for covering her tracks. Huh. Ah, it's you. What brings you all the way here? Do you have something to report? I see. Show me these letters. I shall determine if they are as suspicious as you insist. Are they going to be in Blazy's handwriting? This is everything we've been able to find. The author goes out of his way to mention that Ulo's copy of Volume 11 was found in Arcomedine's room. The fool. In his feeble plot to frame the prefect, he has only incriminated himself. I trust that you too have put the pieces together. You have proven an able associate indeed. It is from here, however, that the real work begins. Should at any time you begin to feel your powers of concentration waver or your attention to detail slip, you need but do this. Take a deep breath and focus your eyes into the distance. In that moment, the solution will appear before you. The game is afoot, and if we intend to win the day, we must remain vigilant. Now let's get our man. I've learned the emote spectacles!
I was already wearing glasses, so this will look great.
Inspector Briardien truly is amazing. He's cracked the case with little more than scattered scraps of evidence. Literally. I think I missed something. Who exactly are we going after? I can see the connection, but how does this help us deduce the identity of the perpetrator? Take a deep breath. Look into the distance. See Hildebrand flying on his sword of light. Cry. Okay, after I accept this quest, I'm gonna go dump that in my armoire. Or glamour dresser, I guess.
First.
What?
Put them on so you can try out your emote.
Oh, you need the spectacles to do the emote?
I mean, you don't, but it adds to the effect.
Fair enough.
Like, you can totally straighten the phantom spectacles that are on, but...
They ain't half bad as glasses.
Yeah.
Tackles. Cute.
Yeah, it varies by race, so can't same notion that Briardien does, but you're not a male Elizon, but, it's the thought that counts.
Oh, well.
Cat girls, as you can see, have a very, sexy librarian feel to their version.
Pushing it up on the side doesn't have quite the same effect as pushing it up your nose.
True.
Okay, let's accept this quest. Before we begin pursuing our man in earnest, answer me this. Can any of you tell me where Ulah's copy of Volume 11 currently is? The letters say it was found in Archimedes' room, though for all we know, that could be complete and utter bollocks. Lore, I see you've managed to keep your word to Le Brossois. Very good. Allow me to enlighten the rest of you. The tome is currently in my possession. Le Brossois discovered it in Archimedes' room and turned it over to us in secret, for fear it would fuel the ongoing rumors. Now, knowing what you do, it is time to put your minds to the test. What do you surmise is the relationship between our talented writer friend and the thief that lifted the book from Ulah's quarters? Okay, they are one and the same. A sensible deduction. The planting of the book in Archimedes' quarters and the subsequent distribution of these letters were both carried out to a common end, to implicate the prefect in Ulah's abduction and force his expulsion. It would stand to reason that the perpetrators are either working in tandem or, in fact, are one and the same. Wait, hang on. If it was Le Brossois, why is it because he knows he'd be fourth place and not part of the triumvirate or whatever? And wants to eliminate one of his rivals so he can be part of the Trinity? Huh. While that in itself does not reveal the identity of the culprit, it does lead us to our next question. Who would have been able to enter and exit Ulah's room unnoticed? The perpetrator was able to move quickly and not draw attention to themselves in the act, leading me to believe our book snatcher had easy access to all rooms within the dormitory. How, you might ask? Keys. Something only 3 people currently possess. Father Saturnois and the prefects Archimedes and Le Brossois. So one of them is the culprit, but which could it be? It couldn't be. I know, it was Archimedes. Think about it. It explains why he was so adamant in refusing our help. What sense is there in him stealing the book when the only thing it would serve to do is implicate him in a crime he may not have even committed? Then that leaves Le Brossois as the only other Oh, I picked the I don't know option, didn't I? Whoops. As the only other person aside from the inspector and Lore who came into contact with the book, I'd say he's a prime suspect. It certainly is suspicious, but what motive could he possibly have? If only there was a way we could glean the answer. Lore, I hear that you possess a great gift, one which you employed to reveal long-hidden truths about our nation. Might you not be able to use this power to shine some light on the matter at hand? Well, I don't really control it like that. So it's not yours to control. I guess that means we'll have need to rely on our own wits to obtain the answers we seek. Fortunately, I have an idea of my own, but I'll need your help to see it through. Well then, Teo, let us put this idea of yours into action. Last I heard, Archimedes and Le Brossois have taken refuge in Zemael Manor. Let's make our way there, post-haste. I'll leave it to you to see that the bumblings of those 3 do not interfere with the final stage of my investigation of the vault. But do not tarry long. With Father Saturnois throwing his full support behind the petition, Archimedes has but a few bells before his name is permanently struck from the registry. I shall do what I can to see that the proceedings are delayed, but I cannot guarantee it will buy us all the time we need. Godspeed, Lore. I'll see you at the hearing. Time is of the essence, so I'm going to take a detour and retire to an inn room.
New Briardien?
Yes, closest to the waypoint.
There's an inn here in
Wait, there is?
yeah.
We've been there.
Yeah, we've been there today. Gibrion's place, the Forgotten Night.
Oh.
We've
Fair
also
enough.
literally been in that, I think.
No, I've never used that inn.
I need to stop off at the inn real quick. Teleports to a different city on the other side of the continent.
Do you have two of the same glasses in there?
Do I? Whoops.
Yeah.
Nope, mithril spectacles and silver spectacles.
The same model, huh?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
weird. Must have put them in there at different points.
Yeah. There's probably a time when you were just like desperate to clean out your inventory and just started shoveling stuff in there.
Yeah.
I did an inventory purge not too long ago, so I have plenty of space right now, so I'm not bothering to drop stuff off in the inn yet.
Ah, there you are. Up the stairs, okay. Whatever Teo's brilliant plan is, I certainly hope he took this into account. Again, I wouldn't take this kind of treatment sitting down. Looks like they're at it again. What are we to do? As you can see, your Commodine and I are discussing important matters at the moment. If you have something to report, pray return later. Findings? As if anything you four managed to dig up can help me now. The hearing is about to begin. My fate is as good as sealed. There's still time, Arcomedine. Earlier you pledged your innocence to us. Let us pledge it once more, at the hearing, before one and all. The truth shall speak for itself. The truth? You expect those fools to see the truth when this evidence to the contrary is staring them in the face. How do you think this plan your pea-sized minds have concocted will succeed where all Lebrossois' best attempts have failed? Alright, well, let's leave him to it then. We will succeed, Arcomedine, for it is not just I that stands with you, but the hero who brought to light the truth behind our very nation. Yes, there is nothing that she has not seen, and the damage she has done to the nobility in this country is incredible. Surely you understand the implications of this. Don't you, Le Brossois? Lore has the ability to peer into events of the past. Indeed, it was through her visions that Ishgard's true origins were brought to light. You need say no more. She has already used her vaunted power to see that I was the one behind it all. Oh, you're just gonna admit it, huh? Yes, it was I that kidnapped Ula. It was I that snuck into her room and stole Volume 11. It was I that distributed the letters, all so that I might implicate our Arcomedine. Out of revenge for your treatment, or because you wanted in the top 3? How satisfying it is to finally be able to say it aloud. For so long I have had to plot my revenge in silence and mask my hatred of you with hollow praise and bashful smiles. Le Brossois, what madness is this you speak? You truly are oblivious, aren't you? Then allow me to enlighten you. After all the transgressions your family has committed against mine, did you truly think I would remain loyal to you? For centuries, your house has humiliated us. It was something we'd come to accept, but when the wall between the nobility and the common class came tumbling down, we were met with the most harrowing truth of all, that all our suffering had been for naught. Everything we grew up believing about our status was a fabrication, tall tales spun to keep us complacent. In reality, you're no better than the 2 broom rats beside you. You never were. It was a terrible realization, but one that also gave me hope. Hope that you could be taken down just as any other. That's when I began plotting. Ula's abduction, the letters, and the rumors they spurred, all was part of my master plan. To bring shame and dishonor on you and your family, as you have mine. Alright, Teo, don't tell him I didn't see this. Just bring him along. Maybe he'll confess to this himself in front of the tribunal. I have staked everything. Yes, even my very freedom. But it was worth it to give you a taste of our pain. What's more, I bribed the 2 kidnappers into abducting Ula with money from your purse. Having entrusted the management of your finances to me, you never suspected a thing. Oof. Oof. Arcomedine's never going to trust anybody else with money ever again. Le Brossois, I can only imagine the pain you have endured, but to seek revenge in this way. Nevertheless, I thank you for confessing to your crimes. Now we can absolve Arcomedine of the false charges brought against him. Oh, he's not going to repeat this to anybody who actually has decision power, Teoma said. Wait a minute. You mean that she didn't actually see into the past? You deceived me. If you'll recall, Teo never explicitly said that Lore had a vision of what happened to Ula. He merely observed that she possesses such an ability. Truth be told, it is not even a power that can be controlled at will. Well, don't tell him that. I don't want that getting around. Now then, Arcomedine, I suppose that's all the proof of innocence you'll need. Let's escort Le Brossois to the hearing and have him repeat his most dramatic confession before the headmistress.
The echo is only good for exposition. Solving.
Yeah, Arcomedine, you've been confronted with the fact that you're a shitlord. How do you feel? I never saw it. The hatred, I mean. How could I have been so blind? We've been friends from childhood, and never for a moment did I question his loyalty. What a fool I was. However did I think I could stand at the forefront of our nation when I was so oblivious to that which was happening under my very nose? Man, that smile never leaves Teo's face. It's kind of creepy. Arcomedine, pray do not torture yourself so. Rather, open your heart and allow Halliday's wisdom to set you free. Once you come to see Le Brossois not only as your friend but as your peer, I promise that the both of you will find a way to mend any bonds that have been broken. Alright, that's a little excessively optimistic, Teo. Of the Fury's love will all men receive, and by the balance of her spear will all be set free. You truly believe these words, don't you? You cling to them, even when reality does all it can to prove you wrong. I suppose it is that unwavering faith that your friends find so endearing. Now then, it is time for me to put my own faith to the test and face my fate head on. May the Fury have mercy. So what are we waiting around here for? We've a hearing to attend. I'll meet you two there. There is something I must confirm with the inspector first. Lore, I cannot shake the feeling that this affair runs far deeper than any of us could have imagined. If you would, please accompany our Commodine to his hearing and see to it that nothing goes awry in my absence. Saturn Noir was behind Leversoir's idea, wasn't he? Why did I walk up here? That is not the way.
Even know anymore.
Honestly, at this point, I would not be surprised to just find you walking into a wall.
Danny walked past you, he didn't see it. What?
I can see it on stream.
I was next to you, I saw what you were doing, but
Thanks for not spoiling it until it was too late. I must say, Master Leversoir, that I am extremely disappointed that anyone, much less a student of our upstanding establishment, would commit such atrocities. I am truly at a loss for words. Okay, atrocity is a strong word for what's been going on, Elviane.
I mean, there was a kidnapping.
Oh, okay, never mind, you're right. Forgot about that. Headmistress Elviane, if I may, do you not find the timing of these confessions to be incredibly convenient? It's as if Master Leversoir here has been coerced into admitting to crimes he himself didn't commit. Let us not rush to condemn a man who may very well be innocent. We must also keep in mind that this incident will have repercussions that extend beyond the Scholasticate. Distrust of our church has never been so high. If we were to expel either one of our prefects, both of whom have strong ties to House Zemael, we will lose any credibility our establishment still has in the eyes of the citizens.
Feeling that ship has sailed, but okay.
Hang on. Is he trying to bring down the Scholasticate itself? To this end, I would propose an alternative plan. We will make a full disclosure of this scandal to the public, together with an announcement that St. Endelim's Scholasticate will be temporarily closed. It is past time we pushed for a full reformation of the school and its curriculum. And there it is, the confession I've been waiting for. Why do you have the book on you, Teo? Confession? Master Briardien, explain yourself. From the start, I had my suspicions that someone was pulling strings behind the scenes, someone who had secured a high enough position within the clergy to manipulate the students and the system. I pored through records, closely examining any who fit this description. Okay, here's what I dislike about this quest, is that Saturn-Wa is kind of right. The church needs to reform. The Scholasticate needs to reform its teachings. And he's pegged the right passage to focus on. That he went as far as to kidnap a kid to do it is wrong. But you're kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater here. I poured through records. It was no easy task, but I finally found what I was searching for. And, combined with the confession Théomosent obtained from Le Bourgeois, I was able to uncover the true culprit. I speak of you, Saturn-Wa, and I do not call you father, for you are no priest. The documents admitting you into your current position were all forged. Oh. You manipulated Le Bourgeois into carrying out what you yourself could not. You stirred up discord among the students and fomented the people's distrust of the clergy in the hopes of creating an even greater rift between the people of Ishgard and the clergy, all in the hopes of seeing the Scholasticate closed down once and for all. But I don't understand. Why would Father Saturn-Wa seek the ruin of the Scholasticate? The answer to that would lie in his past. Over a decade ago, Saturn-Wa graduated top of his class and was welcomed into the ranks of the Holy See. It was there he was assigned work as an expurgator. Expurgator? What are you talking about? In all my years serving the Holy See, I've never heard of such a post. I would be more surprised if you had. Her holy body of decency, a sector that is comprised of a few select individuals, is perhaps the best kept of Ishgard's many secrets. Its existence is known only to a handful of people beside the Archbishop himself. I am impressed, Master Briardien. It would seem your reputation is well deserved. Though I must correct you on one account. I am no expurgator, but rather one of the so-called watchmen consigned to guard them. Was your friend one of the... Oh, the expurgator is the position that keeps the secrets. Duh. That said, we shared a similar fate. Both expurgator and watchmen alike were struck from official records and confined in the bowels of the Holy See, damned to live out our lives in the shadows as pallid husks of the men and women we could have been, all so that someday we might fulfill one task. Where written records were deemed too dangerous, expurgators would serve as living documents, orally passing down our nation's greatest secrets. When the time came for the Archbishop's successor to ascend the throne, we would briefly emerge from our isolation, to pass from our mouths to their ears all we knew of Ishgard, before sinking back into obscurity. Of course, no high-born man or woman would be condemned to this fate. No, this was a destiny reserved for commoners, orphans with no ties to the world above. Oh, is that what would have happened to Teo? 7 hells. So if the truth hadn't come to light, Teo and I... Men and women forced to sacrifice their own lives that our nation's darkest secrets might be preserved forever, unbeknownst to her people. I can scarce believe my ears. Father Saturn-Wa, the friend you spoke of. Yes, he was an expurgator. Such anguish did his duties cause him that he chose death over that wretched excuse for a life. And while a new era is upon us, one that does not condemn the innocent to a life of despair for the sake of one man, it does not undo the injustice of 1,000 years. It was to right the wrongs of the past that I escaped that foul dungeon and made my way back to the place where it all began. This twisted institution, the place responsible for stealing the bright futures of young orphans, needs to be closed down for good. Father Saturnois, your actions are heinous, and I can in no way condone them. That said, if there is truth to what you say, perhaps it would be best for us to suspend all lessons until we can reach a consensus as to how we might proceed. But, Headmistress Elviane, would not closing down the Scholasticate be akin to evading our responsibility as men and women of the clergy? We got a responsibility to do it right, Teo. It is our duty to speak the truth, not bury it. For too long, the people have been fed naught but lies. It is time we took the initiative and gave them reason to put their faith in us once more. I must agree with Teomacet. As I have learned firsthand, we must take care never to abuse our power and privilege, lest we hurt the people closest to us. To keep silent would be to repeat the mistakes of our past. Oh, you grew up in a hurry, Arcomedine. The only way we can move forward is to take responsibility for our actions and make an earnest effort to reach out to those we have wronged. While we may never receive forgiveness, at least we can attempt to atone for any anguish we may have caused those who did not deserve it. If it is true that all men are born equal, as I have heard so many in this room preach time and time again, then all are entitled to know the truth. Let us lead by example and freely share all that we have learned here today.
I hate his hair. It looks like he's got a comb over from the back.
Father Saturnois, while I cannot pretend to understand your ordeal or soothe the fury that has taken hold in your heart, I can promise you one thing. I swear on Father Choisseau's copy of the Parables of Saint Denephen that not you, nor any of those who shared your fate, will ever again be forgotten. Thus all was laid bare before the public, the atrocities suffered by expurgator and watchmen alike, along with the head of the Scholasticate and the Holy See, had their terrible demise revealed to all of Ishgard. I still didn't read fast enough! So it was that a new path was towards attained, one that would see a renewed faith in the Church and its teachings, where the citizens would come to learn that all men should be regarded as equal not only in the eyes of Helene, but also by one another. Made it.
Woo!
And you never really think about how much faster your internal reading speed is than verbal reading speed until you try to do it in situations like that where something is clearly meant to just be read to yourself.
Yeah.
It's like if I were just reading, you would get through. But trying to read it aloud, all of a sudden it's like, ah!
Teo is a born detective. He told me that he went to speak with the inspector because he thought it suspicious that Father Saturnois was pushing so hard to have Arcomedine expelled. Sure enough, it turned out that he was the one pulling the strings all along. Well, I'm glad this ordeal is finally behind us. I cannot help but feel as though we've lost one of our own. We share the same origins as Father Saturnois, and would have shared the same fate had it not been for you. You're welcome. See, Frey, we do good in the world.
Yeah,
Lord, thank you for restoring peace to the Scholasticate. You have reminded us that there is a world beyond these doors that relies as much upon us as we do them. You have opened our eyes and shown us that destiny is but the choices we make. If we are strong and persevere, I have no doubt we can rebuild the Scholasticate and regain the people's trust. Lore, now that your work here is done, I suppose the time for farewells is upon us. Will you be departing Ishgard immediately? It's sad to say farewell, but let's send you and the Inspector off in style, by bringing a sword of light that just fell from the heavens.
Yeah, Paladins don't get that till level 90.
Alright, Teo, Cramorant has some words for you in regards to Blazy. Ah, there is my trusted associate. I feared I might not be able to bid you a proper farewell before I left. On behalf of my uncle, allow me to thank you for all your hard work. There's still so much fighting and bickering going on. Couldn't you stay with us for a bit longer? I fear that there are more pressing mysteries that demand my attention. Not to mention a certain young lady in Ul'dah who awaits my return. Oh! Is she already out of jail?
Probably not, but still maybe.
Oh, another client of yours, I take it. Teo, is your head screwed on backwards? He's talking about his... Tactless fools, the both of you. But I suppose you're nothing if not sincere, eh, Teo? And while I'll admit that naivete is one of your more endearing traits, combined with the blunderings of the idiot beside you, it's like as not to bring the Scholasticate to ruin. That's why you'll need someone with extensive knowledge of the affairs of Ishgard, and the proper connections to actually bring about the change you seek. Someone like me. Volunteering to be his underling. The words of a man looking to steal his way into our dear Teo's heart. Blazy, Lee, it seems you've got competition.
Yes. So setting some ho, yeah.
The fury take you all. Call me what you will, but Teo would never replace me with anyone, much less a conniving snake like our Combadine. You can coexist. How refreshing it is to hear such playful banter among my friends. You're very optimistic, Teo. It would seem our worries are finally behind us.
Oblivious is what he is.
Yeah. Before we celebrate, however, there is one last thing. Blazy, I'd like to thank you for your support. Were it not for your meticulous notes and sharp eyes, Ula would still be missing. Is that all you have to say to her, Teo? Come on! Briardien approves. Briardien approves of Blazy's interest.
Either that or he's thinking, oh, thank God he's too oblivious to end up being my brother-in-law.
Lore, Inspector, words are not enough to express our gratitude. It was only because of you that we were able to unmask the perpetrator and restore peace to our school. Just as Father Troisseau brought you to us in Gorgain Mills, I cannot help but feel Halliday guided you to us in our time of need. We hope to one day repay the kindness you have shown us by rebuilding the Scholasticate. When next you visit, we hope she will have retaken her place as the nation's top establishment of higher learning, and once again serve to light the people's way back to the halls of Halliday. Yeah, you have fun with your religion or whatever. I hope you improve it. Our fair nation has seen her share of tragedy and turmoil, but I take heart knowing that there are those such as yourself to watch over her and see that she does not stray from her course. Till we meet again. Hildebrand just rockets out of the sky and lands on him, killing him instantly.
That's next week.
That's next week.
Unless you want to get started.
No, we're going to do it all in one stream.
Fair.
Right, Minda? We can do that?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know if we can get it all in one stream. I would think of streaming a bit.
Yeah, one long stream, certainly.
Back to school 3. Alright, let's drop this coat into my, glamour dresser.
I'm gonna try it out first.
Oh yeah, I should do that.
It's the highborn version, and you can dye the trim.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, the main color always stays black until Dawn Trail, I suppose. Dye the trim.
Huh.
Nice.
That is cute. Yeah, I'll put it on.
I did not think we would have time for class, but since we brought up Red Mage, why not go to that?
I can do a couple of those. Probably
I'll,
shouldn't accept a quest, but check out the quest description for the first Hildy quest. Okay.
education.
Black Mage is not my highest level class, by the way, at the moment. I got Red Mage to 67 while I was farming Praetorium for the 10th anniversary stuff.
Should have grinded it just a little bit harder to get to
69, yeah. As you catch sight of Nashu, you cannot help but wonder if you are about to have a bad time. Do-do-do-do. Alright, to the Forgotten Knight to drop off my highborn noble robes.
I am going to be back. Be back in a little bit. Back to you shortly.
You did the same thing with Red Mage that I did with White Mage. I don't care if this gets over leveled, so we're just going to use this.
Yeah, I'm not going to use Red Mage in the main quest, so it's going to happen independently of everything else. This is a different inn.
Yeah. That's a nice thing about over-leveling something, is that all you have to do is wait, and eventually that problem will go away.
Alright, so Red Mage quests are in Ul'dah, I believe. I can just look at...
You can't just like look at the...
Camp Drybone.
Job quests very rarely stay in the majors, probably to encourage people to like spread out a little bit.
Alright, Zrun Tia. Time to remind myself... Oh, wait, are we going to run into Red Mage Alice during this quest? Huh.
Maybe. I don't know. I say as if I have not done this quest already.
How fares your training, my friend? Well, I dare say I've out-leveled you, Rune. I imagine you have grown quite accustomed to the shift between spellcraft and swordplay by now. I will continue to instruct you, but as I have said before, practical experience will serve you far better than any tiresome lecture. It is important that you treat every battle as an opportunity to learn. Speaking of which, Father Iliud mentioned that he had something he wished to discuss regarding our sigil-branded ambushers. Let's head inside, shall we? I do not remember anything about the quest. Oh, that's a neat quest accepted jingle.
So to recap from last time, you saw...
Yeah, last time. Last time was a year ago.
Yeah, last time. So basically you saw this dude on the road. He did a lot of cool swishy, spellcasty swordplay stuff that impressed you. And he beat up a bunch of, like, zombie-ish black mages.
Ah, okay. I wonder what the good father has discovered. I am ashamed that it did not occur to me earlier, but I recall an incident that may be connected to this dreadful cult. A merchant's son was kidnapped in Ul'dah some moons ago. When the merchant came to pay the ransom, however, both father and child were murdered. The perpetrators of this terrible act were never unmasked, but evidence at the scene suggests the two were slain by thaumaturgy. What is more, this merchant was a native of Alamigo. Is this not also true of the father of the girls you rescued? Aye, he is Alamigan born, a man by the name of Wilkin, so his wife told me. Could he have been the true target of the kidnappers? We must speak with Master Wilkin at once. There are too many similarities in these cases to ignore, and I would not put it past this cult to make a direct attempt on his life. In anticipation of such action, I inquired after Master Wilkin's trading itinerary. It seems he is presently conducting business at the Manderville Gold Saucer. Oh no. Delivering stock for game prizes or some such. Very resourceful of you, Father. Thank you. Come, Lore. The Gold Saucer awaits. Okay, back we go. My apologies, Lore. I neglected to ask if you were a patron of these halls. But we are here now, and Master Wilkin is still occupied with his trade. I am tempted to eavesdrop on his dealings to learn what manner of man we are saving. Well, I got some big fucking ears. We can use those. Let us play the part of happy gamblers and wander by his meeting in the Manderville Lounge. Just look for the wonderfully hideous golden statue.
Remember when we tried to show you that statue and passed it like 4 times?
God, fucking Godbird. There's our Master Wilkin. Thank you again. We'll make the most of this gift, I promise you. Back straight and head up now, lad, or folk will become suspicious. You've done naught wrong besides. The coin is fair gotten and freely given. The young man he was talking to, he is known to me. One of the lads belonging to the Alamegan Resistance, if I'm not mistaken. Well, this is clearly more than some simple business deal. But why waste time on suppositions when we can speak with the merchant himself, eh? We've stumbled upon some secret dealing, that much is obvious. But I suggest we allow Master Wilkin the chance to explain himself. It kind of seems like he's just funding the Alamegan Resistance. Do we really need to get up in his business about that? Wilkin, we kind of want to help. Mistress Lore and Master Jroon, glad I am for this chance to thank you in person for the kindness you showed my daughters. A Father Iliud sent word to expect you. I thought we were trying to be sneaky. He also mentioned that the danger to my family is not yet past. You suspect that I have been marked for assassination? Aye. Have you any idea of the why? Say, retaliation for funneling funds to the Alamegan Resistance under the guise of standard business dealings? I thought as much. I recognized your client as one of the young freedom fighters I'd seen in Gurabania. Oh, rest assured that your secrets are safe with us. I myself have spent the better part of my life aiding the Resistance. Your dealings do, however, seem to have drawn some rather unpleasant attention. Very well. You saved my children's lives, and so I will trust you with the truth. Many Alamegan refugees are employed here at the Gold Saucer, in no small part due to the wishes of the establishment's owner, Lord Godbert Manderville. Several of these employees have direct ties to the Resistance, the young man you saw being one such conduit. As to why I meet them here, well, it's a matter of hiding the trees within the forest. Also, Godbert's sympathetic to the cause. There was another incident not so long ago where the son of an Alamegan-born merchant was kidnapped by a cadre of mages. When the father attempted to pay the ransom, the fiends slew both parent and child. I fear this scenario was one they hoped to repeat with you. Yes, a terrible turn of events that was. I did not know the merchant personally, but I knew of his efforts. He, too, was said to have supported the Resistance with the fortune he made in Ul'dah. And there we have our connection. They seek to eradicate Resistance sympathizers. I sense the hand of the Empire behind this cabal. But the assassins themselves favor magic, so they are unlikely to be native Garleans. The puppeteer could very well be a hired killer, or mayhap a recruit from a subjugated province. We shall learn the truth in due time. For now, however, we must take steps to keep you alive. Lord Manderville is a member of the Syndicate, and the Gold Saucer is his domain. Striking at me here would be difficult, to say the least. I do, however, have pressing business to attend to in Vesper Bay in the coming days. And you want our escort, don't you? Vesper Bay, eh? Given its peculiar approach, I can think of a dozen places from which assassins could stage an ambush. Might you entrust your safety to Lore and me? Together, we will prove more than a match for any ambushers, and it would also afford us greater insight into our foe. What the fuck is going on with this guy's eyebrows and forehead?
I'm back.
Welcome back. He's got a Super Saiyan 3 thing going on.
Sharun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the faces for Seekers of the Sun, Mikota.
Yeah. It's just because he's kind of old.
Oh, he is. Oh, okay.
Starting to get wrinkly.
You certainly appear capable. I will gladly accept your protection. Then it's settled. Let us travel ahead to Vesper Bay and scout out the area. Why is only his forehead old?
God, there's a notoriously cringy modder who keeps complaining about female characters not looking feminine enough, so he keeps giving them long flowing hair, and complains about all the male Makotes for looking cute, so he gives all of them that face.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, do I have any Vesper Aetherite tickets left? I don't think I do. No, I have...
Teleport to Horizon.
Oh, wait.
Horizon is where you need to go anyway. Oh, no, you do have to go to Vesper Bay. Interesting.
Right. Since you're doing the class quests, I will pop over to my main character and continue doing PvP while we talk.
Oh, wait. This is actually a perfect time to do Red Mage stuff, because, Stormblood's coming soon.
Yeah. Though I don't know how much we're going to do today. My throat's kind of sore.
Yeah. That's a pretty sunset.
Yeah. Good, you're here. Master Wilkin has begun his overland trek from Moldau. Before he left, I asked the good merchant to discuss his travel arrangements with less than his usual discretion. Assuming the assassins have eyes and ears on their target, we can assume they will have moved to occupy the most favorable ambush sites. Now, if I were intent on murdering a lone traveler, I would choose one of two options. The first being the alleys here in Vesper Bay, and the second being the long, dark tunnel leading into the town. I propose we split up and secure both areas. I will take the back streets, and you can have the old mining shaft. Sweep the tunnel clean of ambushers, then meet me back here when you are sure the route is safe. Speaking of Vesper Bay, when in the storyline did we see Briardien consorting with the Ascians? Was it at the end of 3.0?
At the end of 2.0.
Yes. Yeah, 2.0 actually, yeah.
Oh, it was at the end of 2.0, okay.
Yeah, because we saw a reconstituted La Habrea walking in a dark room, and then it panned over to Briardien.
Well, we cut back to Briardien over the basement.
It was 2.55, not 2.0, okay.
Yeah, 2.5. Right, yeah, it was the very end of A Realm of Blood. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, makes sense.
Huh. Defeated their ambush, did you? Well done. As you can see, they had a second group waiting in the wings. Your opponents were the same mute attackers as before, yes? I pity these cursed pawns, but we cannot let mercy stay our hands. They are a little different from the walking dead, and no art can restore them. I did, however, allow one to escape my blade. On purpose, of course. He seemed eager to disengage, and so I obliged. He limped off towards the coast, but with the wound I gave him, he'll not have fled far. Why didn't you follow him? I will track this last assassin to his destination. Pray, remain here and greet Master Wilkin. He should be arriving through your secured tunnel any moment now.
Why did so many sell and then the price go down? What?
Ah, Mistress Lore, here I am, and with nary a scratch upon my person. My deepest thanks. I saw the corpses on the way in. I presume that was your doing. You have saved my family, and for that I can never truly repay you. But I must at least try. Pray, share this gift with Master Jroun. My supplier will be waiting, and so I must take my leave of you. May Nald enrich you and bless your endeavors.
I just had a thought. If the lesser moon Dalamu that orbited the greater moon Menfina got referred was often referred to as Menfina's loyal hound, does that mean it's a Bahamut?
We've had a stroke of luck. The man I followed leapt into the sea and was fished out by others in a rowboat. I last saw them making for a merchantman anchored out in the bay. Considering the absence of fear, I must assume the one who fled had been commanded to report the outcome of the ambush. If we can identify this ship, then we will be one step closer to unmasking this vile puppeteer. And then we can... Huh? Another token from the esteemed Master Wilkin. The letter just explodes. How kind that he seeks to reward us. Ah, there is a note here as well, addressed to us both. You have my eternal gratitude. Twice now has my life been saved by red mages, and twice by one in particular. Mayhap you remember the day, 20 years ago, when the Crimson Duelists fought to save the life of a child. I remember you, Master Jroun, for your scarlet garb was forever etched into my memory. 'Tis a strange feeling to be recognized for a decades-old deed. Had he not known me, would he have been so ready to place his life in our hands, I wonder? Aside from a few wrinkles, I suppose I have changed little in my appearance. I was clothed thus when we worked to evacuate our fellow Alamegans, even as the homeland we knew crumbled around us. But in the end, it is the lives that matter, not the place. Regardless of the circumstances, a red mage must strive to achieve the greatest good. So I have always believed. Our actions are our own reward, but a little acknowledgement does wonders to sustain one's faith, eh? Oh, I recognize that quest complete jingle now. Alright, I am starving and my throat hurts. So we're going to stop there with the one Red Mage quest. We will continue this if there's time after Hildebrand. There probably won't be. So I expect this to be left on hold for a little while again. Yeah. By a little while, I don't know how long I mean, because it'll be a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be it for today. We will be doing Hildebrand next week, so tune in for that. Now, what?
Yeah.
I will read my schedule and get off. Before I do, I would like to plug my Patreon, which you can find either in the description of the YouTube video or with the ! Patreon command in Twitch chat. I make my living off of Patreon, and I make enough to pay my rent and my bills, but it's my sole source of income, and I don't make much beyond that. So if you could go to my Patreon and pledge $1 a month or $1 per stream or anything in between, I would like to start saving up some emergency funds for medical emergencies, for if I need to replace stuff, the works. I'm grateful to everybody who pledges. You make it so I can do this strange, silly job for a living. I love my job, and I love you guys for letting me do this for a living. As for the schedule, tomorrow I am not going to be streaming. Well, we may stream it, but I don't have plans to. I'm going to be recording a podcast with Teddy and Love about Pokemon. We're starting with we're talking about Pokemon, about what we like, and about the Pokemon themselves, and we will be starting with the grass starters tomorrow. I don't know when or where that will go up, but expect it.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd offer to join, but I believe I've got D&D tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I also have D&D tomorrow. Weekends are always D&D heavy for me.
Yeah. Monday, I'll be playing Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma for a patron. I may be finishing the game that day. We'll see. Tuesday, I will be doing my first playthrough of Silent Hill for a patron. Wednesday will be The Legend of Heroes, Trails in the Sky for a patron. Thursday will be The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for a patron. Friday, Slay the Princess comes out, and I'll be playing the game properly at 2 p.m. EST instead of my usual 1 p.m. start time for a patron. And next Saturday, we have Final Fantasy XIV, as we do every week. So, for now, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And I will see you next time.
Yeah.